So today we're going to talk about credit cards and just like certain myths that surround credit cards, how you properly use your credit card, how to benefit, more for your credit cards. So I made a TikTok and I said that I fully live off my credit cards, and a lot of people could not understand what I was talking about. They were eating me up in the comments. So I wanted to get on here and explain what I meant, how you can benefit from your credit card, and why you should not be using your debit card. So I want to start off by saying that I am an avid credit card user. I have multiple different credit cards. I have multiple top tier credit cards. I have some mid tier, and I also have some tier one credit cards. I started with a $200 secure card. Now, collectively between business and personal, I have over $500,000 available to me in credit limits. Now, I obviously don't use that. My utilization will rest comfortably between 1 and 10%, depending, right? Now, YouTube, yes. Hey, YouTube. Hey, y'all. So what I was saying is I recommend 100% that you put away your debit card and then don't look at it for months, like ever, if you have to. And I'm looking at this screen, y'all. So if y'all see me looking to the side, that's why. So the reason is because when you spend on your debit card, you are not benefiting at all, at all. You spend the money is just gone, and you don't get anything in return for using your credit card, right? Whereas if you for using your debit card. But then if you spend the same amount of money on your credit card, you are going to gain things like building a relationship with your bank. You're going to gain reward points, miles, and all of that. So for example, if you're looking at the screen, you will see that this is a $107 purchase that I spent at a supermarket, just a grocery store, right? And you can see as a result of spending $107, I gained 428 membership reward points by just swiping my credit card, right? Now, if I were to swipe my debit card for this same exact purchase, I would not have gained anything, nothing. The money would have just been gone. $107 would have just been spent. It's gone. And I didn't benefit from it. But then because I use my credit card, and I use the credit card that will give me 4 times the reward points on supermarkets, the American Express Gold, then I was able to get 428 points, right? Let me show you guys on YouTube. Hold on, y'all, because I ain't even pull this all up like I was supposed to. But what I was saying is because I spent my credit card, I was able to gain points. Now, those points add up. Those points adds up. So what I do is I have credit cards for different things. So when it comes to food, when it comes to grocery shopping, when it comes to restaurants, I am always going to use my American Express Gold card. That's because the American Express Gold card gives you 4 times the reward points back, right? Or let's say I'm shopping. Let's say I want to splurge on designer, whatever the case may be. I'm going to use a card that's going to give me X amount back for retail shopping. So, for example, the City Double Cash, if you don't got any other card, the City Double Cash is going to at least give you double the reward points. So, let's say I bought a Louis Vuitton purse, $3,000. I would absolutely never buy designer on my debit card. That $3,000 purchase is going to give me about 6,000 reward points if I use my City Double Cash, right? And again, those reward points are real. Like, it's not like it's just something that is exclusive to your bank. Like, you can turn that into other things. So you can turn it into flights. I book free flights all the time. I told you guys that I've booked over $10,000 in free flights this year alone. And then hold on, I'm trying to share. I was supposed to share my screen. That's what I was supposed to be doing. I done forgot what I was supposed to be doing. Hold on, y'all. This is an impromptu live, by the way. I don't have nothing set up, so we really just gonna go off the fly. But anyways, as you guys can see, let me explain it over. As you can see, this is a $107 purchase that I spent at a grocery store. Because I used my credit card, I gained 428 points for this purchase. Whereas if I were to use my debit card for this same exact purchase, I wouldn't have gained anything. Like, you don't gain anything for using your debit card. Your credit card is more secure than your debit card as well. So let's say someone stole your debit card and they just spent all of your money. Your bank will have to open up a full investigation to see if they'll give you the money back, and to see, because it's at times where they don't give you the money back. But if you had done that same thing on your credit card, all the bank would have had to do is reverse the credit. So your money is not gone. You are more secure by spending on a credit card than you are a debit card, because the money is gone with a debit card. That money is done. With a credit card, the credit can be reversed, and it's not your money that you are spending. Your bank is just going to reverse the credit, and it's going to be as though it literally never happened, right? So I spend on my credit cards every single day. I'm talking like if I go to McDonald's, I'm going to swipe my credit card. If I any purchase, like literally any purchase. The only time that I recommend that you guys do not use your credit card is to get cash. So you never want to do a cash advance on your credit card. I don't care how much your bank tempts you into doing it. I don't care what they say. Like, it's not a good thing to do cash advances. The only time you should do a cash advance is if it's an absolute emergency. Like, you just can't, you don't have the money. Like, it's an emergency, because you are able to leverage your credit in the event of an emergency. But you want to make sure that you are not taking advantage of that and doing that every month, because it's just not worth it. You're going to pay fees for that and everything, right? But so again, I do that every single day. Every single purchase I make is going to be on a credit card, to where and all those points adds up. All those points add up. So as of today, let me pull it up. As of today, as of right now, we're speaking, I have 193,000 reward points, right? At one point, I had about 600,000 points, so this ain't a lot. But this will give me, I can purchase probably, if the average flight is like $300 to $400, I can purchase a few flights with this, a few flights, right? For example, today, I pretty much, I basically, let's say today I decide, okay, it's, what's today? Wednesday? Whatever, Tuesday or Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and I want to go to Jamaica next week. I can literally book a trip, round trip ticket from here to Jamaica, and it would not cost me a single dime. On top of that, I can also use my points to get a hotel directly from American Express for free, right? So this is the power of credit. This is the power of utilizing and leveraging your credit to benefit you. So when we are doing our everyday spending, so you don't have to do anything extra. I'm talking like when you're doing your everyday spending. When you reach in your wallet, don't grab no fucking debit card. Please don't grab a debit card. That does not benefit you in any single way. That doesn't benefit you. Grab your credit card, and the money that you were already going to spend on your debit card, go ahead and pay your credit card off, so that you constantly have transactions and payments, right? So I'm gonna give you guys a tip when it comes to these top tier companies like Chase, American Express, some City cards, and just like the top tier credit cards, right? I'm gonna be honest, American Express and Chase has the best credit cards in the entire world. They kind of go neck and neck, and I flip which one is my favorite at a particular time. Right now, today is going to be the American Express Platinum, but the Chase Sapphire Reserve is a close second, right? So again, American Express and Chase has the best credit cards in the whole world, in my opinion, in most people's opinion. But in my opinion, they have the best cards, right? So in order to, and when I say the best cards, meaning like they give you access to the most capital. I showed you guys in my previous live, I got cut off, but I don't want to show it again because I showed some of my personal information. But my spending power on just my American Express Platinum is $100,000. Am I going to spend $100,000? No, that doesn't mean I'm going to go out and just willy-nilly spend it. I'm very responsible with my credit. I don't ever spend anything that I cannot repay back in the same cycle, right? Because interest is real. You don't have to pay interest on any balance that you don't carry over past your due date. So I don't spend anything that I can't pay back because I'm cheap. But the point is, I do have access to that capital if I needed it. If I wanted to start a business tomorrow, I can do that. If I wanted to travel the world, if I just want to say, forget it, I'm just going to travel the world for the rest of the, well, not for the rest of the year, but whatever. I can do that because I placed my credit in a position where it can afford me that opportunity, right? So when we speak about luxury, to me, luxury is freedom. Luxury is freedom. It's not about the things that you can buy and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that adds to it, but it's the freedom. It's freedom. So freedom or luxury to me it just means freedom. Your credit gives you more freedom than if you don't have good credit. So I don't care how much money you make. I don't care. And also for the people who think that people with money don't utilize credit, that's absolutely false. When I was taking clients, majority of my clients was millionaires. Majority of my clients was millionaires. And the reason being is because a lot of millionaires, a lot of rich people, they spend their entire lives paying things off in cash. And then they don't realize that they don't have good credit until they're trying to buy something that they either don't want to dedicate that cash to, or that they just can't afford paying with cash, right? But when it comes to your credit, it gives you that ability to do so. You shouldn't, I would never recommend it. And by the way, everything that I say, it's my opinion. I want to preface that because, you know, everybody have a lot of different opinions, whatever, right? But now when we talk about like credit cards and why you need one, and if you don't have one, why you are doing yourself a disservice, I'm gonna explain exactly why. Your credit profile is broken down into 5 categories, right? The top 2 is going to be credit card reliant, meaning like the top section of your credit report is your payment history. That's 35% of your score, right? Your payment history is how many times you've paid on time versus how many times you've been late. So any one late payment can decrease your credit score 50 to 100 points, okay? So payment history is the most important aspect of your credit. But right behind payment history, guess what's the most important thing? It's going to be credit utilization. The only way you are able to tap into any of the points dedicated to credit utilization is if you have an active credit card, right? So a lot of people, they say, I'm scared to get a credit card. I don't want to get a credit card. I don't want to mess up, whatever, right? You need to get a credit card to have good credit. Like, there's no, I guess, other way to put that. And I don't mean to come out very abrasive when I say it, but like, it just is what it is. There is no way to have good credit without having a credit card, because 30% of your credit score is dedicated solely to having a credit card. So if you've had a credit card in the past and it closed or whatever the case may be, that no longer counts. That's no longer calculated into your credit utilization. So remember, when I said credit utilization is 30% of our scores, that 30% is worth up to 165 points. So again, if you don't have a credit card, you are willingly giving up 165 points, and there is no loan that can replace those points. There is no car. I don't care if your car note is $3,000 a month, if a damn show shouldn't be. But I don't care how much your car note is or how long you've been paying on your car note. Your credit profile is going to be extremely limited without the presence of a credit card, and that's just is what it is. I can't. As a matter of fact, I'll just ask you guys. How many people do not have a credit card, but they have like a car loan or another type of loan, and and your score is just stagnant? It's just like not moving. It's stuck. Like it's just there. Because I can't tell you how many times people come to me like, my score is not moving. The number one reason for a stagnant score is typically going to be your credit card utilization. You either do not have a credit card or your utilization is extremely high. I see a lot of you guys saying me. Yeah, so that is the thing. There is no loan out there. I don't care. Not even a mortgage can replace the need of a credit card, by the way. Not even a mortgage. So because you have to have installment loans and you have to have revolving credit. So installments are loans and then revolving credit is credit cards, right? So you have to have both to have a full, complete credit profile. And I see a lot of people asking about the score. So you know what's crazy, and a lot of people don't realize this. Banks don't care about your score. Your score is only there to show you where you stand in terms of just like overall. They don't care about your score. What they care about is your credit profile. It's always going to be your profile. I have seen people with 800 credit scores get denied for a American Express card or any credit card. I've seen people with 700 plus credit scores getting denied. The reason is your credit score is not the only thing that qualifies you for a credit card. It's going to be your profile. How many derogatory accounts do you have? How many collections and charge-offs and stuff like that do you have? And if you do have some, how long has it been since you got that derogatory account? And also, what have you done since you got that derogatory account? Did you just get a collection and then just like not do anything with your credit and just it's just there? Because a lot of people are under the notion that like, I'm gonna just leave my credit alone and I'm gonna wait till these accounts drop off and then my credit should be good. No, just because you don't have collections, just because you don't have charge-offs doesn't mean that you have good credit. Not having derogatory accounts does not equate to having good credit. What equates to good credit is an established credit profile, having positive reporting trade lines, having a low utilization on your credit cards, making sure that you make your loan payments on time. That is what cultivates good credit. It's not going to be just because you don't have charge-offs or collections. It can be a person with no charge-offs and no collections, and they still will have a 500 credit score because you have to build credit. The only way to build credit is to either get an installment or revolving. Well, not either, because you need both. But that's the only way to build credit. And can your annual income disqualify you for a card? So every card will have their income, not a specific income qualifications, but basically it's going to depend on how much debt you currently have extended to you versus your income. So can you afford this card? And there's no set number, because depending on your income level, you can have $100,000 in debt and that not be considered a large amount of debt based on your income. Or, vice versa, you can have a very low income, but then have an overwhelming amount of debt. And so a company is not going to want to extend you more debt because you are tied up. Your money is tied up, right? So again, nothing matters except your profile. When it comes to like applying for American Express, that's what I was going to say. When it comes to applying for like American Express, Chase, one thing that I would recommend that you guys like pay attention to when you are applying, don't list no job that's not already on your credit profile. Number one, you're just going to extend that process. You're going to make it harder to verify you. They're probably going to automatically give you that 7 to 10 message, 10-day message where they say, you know, we'll let you know in 7 to 10 days, right? You don't want to, like, even if you started a new job, if it's not already on your credit report, I would also just recommend that you just go ahead and put the job that's on your credit report. It just makes you look like everything is matching, everything is together. Don't present no new information that they can't already verify on your credit report. Number two tip. A lot of people want the American Express Platinum card. I just did a full, as a matter of fact, I'm going to share the video really quick with YouTube. Just in case you guys did not see the video, let me just play the video really quick and I'll show you guys as well. I'm sure you guys seen it because it's already on TikTok, but let's just play the video really quick so that we all are on the same page of what we're talking about. And then I'll come back and we can, we can finish talking about what we were talking about. Give me 1 second. Full blueprint on how to get the American Express Platinum card. The Platinum is American Express's most prestigious card, just under the Centurion card, which is the black card. So they hold this card in a high manner. It is advised that if you apply for this card, you want to have at least a 670 credit score. You want to have an established credit profile, meaning that you have primary trade lines in your name, not authorized users, that you show that you are very responsible with credit. You want to have very low utilization before you apply for this card. American Express is extremely utilization sensitive. Understand, American Express doesn't make their qualifications public, so everything is based on assumption. So I definitely recommend that you don't have any late payments or derogatory accounts within the last 24 months, even if you have old collections. And yes, the annual fee for this credit card is $700 a year. However, if you use the card till its full potential, it pays for itself 10 times over. This is not your average Discover card. In one flight, the card already paid for itself. Here's a $780 flight that is completely free for me just by utilizing this card, using the membership points, and booking through American Express Travel. And speaking of benefits, this card can stand next to any card on the market at any time. With complimentary access to all of the airport lounges, not just the Centurion Lounge, this card comes with the Priority Pass, which gives you access to other non-American Express branded airport lounges. Any airport that has a lounge, if you have this card, you can get into it. This card single-handedly changed my travel experience from TSA pre-check, global entry, clear. I don't have to wait in line. I can walk straight through. I don't have to take my shoes off. I don't have to unpack my laptop. All of that is complimentary of this card. So I'm about to put y'all on game on how to get this card and streamline the process if you don't fully qualify to just apply outright. So if you don't qualify for this card, let's talk about exactly how you can set yourself up to get this card. American Express prioritizes their relationship with you over your credit profile. So once you're in the door, it's easy to get any card. So your goal is to get in the door and cultivate a relationship. How you do that is to apply for one of these cards. They're easier to get. You typically only need like a 630 credit score. And then now you have to build that relationship. So when you get one of those cards for 90 days, you are on probation and you need to do exactly this. You need to make sure that you have at least 15 posted transactions in that billing cycle. So no matter how big or small the purchase is, swipe your card. You want to show American Express that you actually use your credit card. You also want to make sure that you have at least 3 posted payments within the billing cycle. So it could be 3 or more, but you want to show that you constantly spend and repay back. It is a revolving trade line, so you always want to show posted payments. I recommend that you set auto pay up on these cards so that it just shows good faith. Companies love that. Do not carry a balance. Pay off your balance in full every single month. Now you got to do this consistently. So it has to be done for more than 90 days. American Express will usually prioritize the last 90 days of your relationship to determine if you're eligible for other card offers. So you want to make sure that you are on your best behavior. Now comment below if you have any more questions. I tried to fit as much as I can within 3 minutes, but it's really difficult. So if you have specific questions, comment below. All right. So that is the video that pretty much prompted the live. So people were asking like how to get the American Express Platinum card because I had like made a video saying like, oh yeah, I love this card. Like I recommend this card for anyone, especially if you travel. And the reason is because A, B, and C, right? The thing is because the American Express Platinum card is like American Express is like baby. It's their like, other than the black card, it's their top card, right? It's their most prestigious card. And because of that, they don't approve anyone for it, but there are different methods and things that you can do to improve your like approval odds. And I recommend that you get in on one of their entry level cards. Now, keep in mind, when I say entry level, we are still talking about American Express. So you do still have to have at least a 630, and they will pull your Experian report typically. So you want to have at least a 630. In having a 630, you want to make sure that you don't have any late payments or derogatory accounts within the last 24 months. So even if you have like old credit cards, as long as they're over 2 years old, I mean, not old credit cards, old collections. As long as they're over 2 years old and you have since established a credit profile, because again, if you haven't done anything since you got your collection, then your credit profile is still in the same place that it was when you first got it. So anytime you have a derogatory account, if you are not going to dispute it for deletion and stuff like that, and that's a whole nother subject, but you want to make sure that you are building good credit in the meantime. In the meantime, would you rather high utilization or a late payment? A high utilization for sure, because high utilization is you can undo that. Like you don't, it has no memory. Well, FICO 10T hasn't came out yet. So as of now, utilization does not have a memory. So you can have a high month. This month is holiday season, by the way, as well. So a lot of companies will basically, this is the thing. If you have high utilization right now, you need to have that low by March, because after March is no more leeway for high utilization. They do recognize that it's holiday season, but they fully expect you to pay back your holiday purchases within 90 days. So that's just another tip. If you do have high utilization, don't stress about it. Like, of course, do your best to pay it down. Obviously, don't get any missed payments. But you can come back from that. And as long as you do it within 90 days of holiday season, you are not really going to be judged off of it at all. So never carry a balance when the statement comes. So I don't carry a balance. Now, keep in mind, when people say carry a balance, they mean past your due date. So your due date is there to establish how much interest that you owe the bank. And then your statement date is there to determine how much utilization is going to be reported to the credit bureaus. So there's two important dates. Your due date determines how much you owe the bank, and then your statement date determines how much like your credit score will be affected by what you report. Because y'all know what I always say, your balance only matters on one day of every month. One day. That's just your closing date or your statement date. Your balance only matters on one day. Throughout the rest of the month, your balance does not matter unless, like I said, we're talking about your due date and talking about how much interest you owe the bank. So what I do is I'll pay off my credit cards by my due date so that I don't have to pay any interest. And then I will make a small purchase before my statement date. My statement date is about a week after my due date. I will make a small purchase and I will let it post. I will let it report to the credit bureaus. The day after my statement date, I go, it's a cycle. The day after my statement date, I start spending right again, like I normally do. Have you ever used more than 30% of your credit limits? Absolutely. Especially when I had lower limits. Now, you got to realize that I started with a $200 credit card. My credit was in the 400s. You guys already know that. My credit was in the 400s. I started with a $200 credit card, and I graduated and got to where I'm at. However, I still have my old credit cards. That's another thing. A lot of people say, when you get these good credit cards, do you close your old credit cards? Absolutely not. You are supposed to, technically speaking, there's no expiration date to a credit card. It's not like it's an installment where you have a set term length of how long you got to make this set payment. It's not a car. It's a credit card. A credit card is really there for life. Like you are supposed, like you get a credit card with the assumption that you're going to have it for life, pretty much, right? And so you have, okay, because I know I have a lot of new people on here and I don't want to confuse you guys with too much information, but there is a thing that's called credit age. Credit age is calculated into your credit score. It's 15% of your credit score. It's worth up to 100. I mean, it's worth up to 82.5 points. Oh, snap. Hold on, yeah. It's worth up to 82.5 points, right? But then you also have something that's not calculated in your credit score, but that lenders look at. So it's called a revolving credit age, meaning that how many years or how long. Can y'all hear me before I keep going? Can y'all hear me? Because my phone is ringing. I don't know if it blocked out my speaker or not. I know y'all can hear me on Instagram, but TikTok, can y'all hear me? Okay. Y'all can hear me now. Okay, cool. All right. So what I was saying is, what I was saying, I don't fucking know what I was saying. I'll just answer some questions, child, because I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, well, this is not what I was saying, but someone asked, does this count with the American Express from Navy Federal? Okay. So guys, You have real American Express cards, and then you have cards that are using the American Express network. So a lot of companies like Credit One, like I know Navy Federal, and a lot of other companies, they will have a American Express branded card, but you don't get all the benefits. Like you don't get the same benefits as like a normal American Express customer. So I don't like co-branded cards, me personally. However, they are depending on the bank now. Credit One American Express card is trash. I don't want to offend anyone if you have that card, but y'all know I have to be honest. The Credit One, there's no Credit One don't have a good card, but it's a really good builder's card. Credit One is a company to me. It's a building company. So if you don't have great credit and you can get approved for other credit cards, Credit One is a good company for that. However, I would never get a top tier card from. Ooh, I'm gonna hurt a lot of feelings on this one. So I personally would never get a top tier card from. I ain't even gonna say it because I don't want anyone to feel bad about the cards. Like again, I have some of these starter cards, but I'll just change the subject. What's the best first card? The best first card is gonna be the Discover It card. It's a secure card. Just say it. So okay, there's no such thing as a top tier card in my opinion from Credit One, from Capital One, from Discover, from Wells Fargo, from Bank of America. Yeah. Most of the banks, the top tier card, the cards that they hold. And when I say Capital One, this is pre-Venture X because they did just come out with a new Venture X card. Because their old Venture card, who was supposed to be their top tier card, is trash. It's trash. But they did come out with a Venture X card, which is just released like within the last like 60 days. So I haven't like checked them out yet. However, their original Venture card was trash. I love Capital One for building. However, their top tier cards, it just does. And when I say it's trash, I mean like when you compare it to other cards that require the same credit score or the same level of experience, it just does not hold a flame to it, So when I say I first of all, if you are new here, I use trash all the time. I just like the word. So when I say something is trash, I don't mean like don't take it as serious, as I don't know how to explain it, but I say trash a lot. What do you think about the Chase Sapphire Reserve? I have that card. I love that card. It was my favorite card. And the only reason why it's still my favorite card is just I have been using the Platinum more. But that's pretty much okay. So you have the American Express Platinum, you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Those are like going neck and neck. Those are like competitors. They are fully aware that they are competitors of one another. Like, yeah, that's how they are, right? And then you have most mid-tier cards. Let me pull up I'm only gonna be able to pull up the list on YouTube, but most mid-tier cards is mid-tier cards is going to be like your Apple cards, your Citi Double Cash, your Capital One Saver One, your Capital One Venture, your American Express Blue Cash Every Day, your American Express Gold card, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but y'all get what I'm saying. So basically a mid-tier card is going to be a card that pretty much caps out at about $30,000, right? A first tier or starter card is going to be cards that cap out at about 2,500. So there are tiers when it comes to credit cards. And then you have your top tier, which caps out at like over 100,000. So again, there are just like tiers with credit cards. And most people are going to find comfort in just staying in the mid-tier line. And I'll show you guys in just a second when it finishes loading. But most people are going to just cap out at the mid-tier range, and there's no issue with that. Actually, I recommend that if you are not like a frequent traveler or if you don't like spend a lot of money a month, I recommend that you kind of stay in that mid-tier range, because keep in mind most top-tier cards is going to have a hefty annual fee. And what I mean by that, and what throws people off of the top-tier cards, is because they see the annual fees. But you have to realize when it comes to top tier cards, it's not like a Discover card. It's not like a Capital One card. So you are not just going to pay an annual fee and not get anything in return. Top tier cards are packed with benefits because, number one, that's why the annual fee is so high, because the benefits are like well over. I added up all of the benefits that I got from my American Express Platinum card within its first year. And it was over $7,000 worth of benefits, whereas the annual fee is only $700. So yes, it is an expensive card to have, and which is why I say it's not for everyone. If you don't spend on your credit card, if you do not travel frequently, then you are going to be paying more money in annual fees than you are benefiting from that card, and that's never a good position to be in. You always want to make sure that you are benefiting from your credit cards. Other than the Amex, what do you recommend for top tier? I'll show you. That's what I was waiting on it to download. Give me one moment. Y'all, my fucking mouth is dry as hell. Hold on. I'm pulling it up. Let me make this full screen so y'all can see it. I'm gonna show y'all in just a second. Give me 1 minute and then we can look at it. Okay. Okay, look. So I'm just gonna start from the top. And I apologize if you always attend lives, because you guys know that I always talk about this. So ignore me or whatever. How you switch this? How you turn this around? Okay, here we go. All right. So these are going to be like the most popular starter cards. These cards are going to, hold on, child. Let me turn off my notifications, because I don't want nothing to pop up. Hold on. Let me put it in airplane mode. All right, back to learning. Okay. So your starter cards are for people who do not have an established credit profile, or you have bad credit. So there's two types of bad credit. It's either a person with no credit, and then it's a person who has a very limited credit profile. You have a limited credit profile if you do not have any established revolving trade lines, meaning credit cards, right? So these are going to be, all right, I made you a mod. Hold on. Shit. It ain't letting me. Anyways, so again, these are going to be tailored towards people with either low credit scores or you just don't have an established profile. These are going to be the cards that most people start with. I started with the Capital One Platinum card. It started with a $200 limit, and that's where I started. Of this list, the Discover It card is my favorite card because it does give you reward points. Now, when it comes to secure cards or starter cards, you're not going to find a card that's going to give you reward points because, again, it's just not made for that. These cards are made to establish a credit profile or to reestablish a credit profile. So if you have bad credit, you've done other credit card companies bad in the past, these are going to be the cards that you're going to have to look at, right? These cards will typically cap out at about 1,500 to about 2,000 as a cap. Now, you do have some cards like the Discover It that can kind of go above that, but I've never seen a Discover It personally, not the secure one, over about like $4,000. So on average, these cap out at around $2,000. Okay. These are just you use these as a starter. You use these to stair step your way into the next level of cards. Have one of these cards for at least 6 months. And before we move on, if you recognize a card on this list and you already have a card on this list, you don't need more than 2 starter cards. None. And by the way, this is not a full complete list, of course. All of retail cards, I consider them starter cards. With the exception of an Amazon card and a Walmart card. Those are the only cards that does not belong on this list. I see a lot of people asking about Navy Federal. We'll get on Navy Federal in a little bit. But they not on this list. Well, obviously every secure card is going to be on this list, but their main cards is going to be on mid-tier. But anyways, here's where most people start. If you don't know where to start with building your credit profile, you're constantly getting denied for credit. If you have collections, charge-offs, and late payments and other ish on your credit profile that prevents you from establishing credit, you need to look at these cards. Now, let me tell you exactly which ones. Let me tell you. So if you don't have any credit, like if you are a person that you don't have bad credit, like you don't have collections, you don't have charge-offs, but you just don't have credit, so you keep getting denied, you need to look at the Discover It card. This is one of these are the best cards on this list. If you are a student, Discover It student or the Capital One Journey card are tailored towards students. Get that card. If you have an 18-year-old, get them one of these cards. But if you have bad credit, like you have collections and you just filed bankruptcy and all of that, then you have to look at what I consider subprime cards. Subprime cards are going to be your Credit One cards, your First Progress, your Milestone, your Open Sky, your First Premier. These are going to be the cards that you look at if you have subprime credit, okay? Now, how long do you need these cards before you are able to move to the next tier, which is the mid-tier credit cards? The answer is simple, but not simple. So there's no like set amount of time. It's all in how long and how responsible you are with it. By the way, if you recognize a card on this list until you graduate into another card, understand that you are on probation that entire time. You are on probation. You do not need to be carrying a balance on these cards. You do not need to ever report a utilization over 10%, right? Never. These cards are not there for you to casually spend on. These cards, in my opinion, should only be used as tools. Should only be used as tools, because if you cannot handle these cards, then you should not even look at these cards on this list. And I hate when I say that, because I feel like it sounds really elitist, but it's honestly, it's the truth. If you cannot handle the starter cards, then spend a little more time with these cards and spending and paying back and spending and paying back, because you're going to be in a world of trouble when you start to get to the mid-tier cards and don't know how to properly use a credit card. Because with the mid-tier cards, these limits can go up to $40,000 per card, right? So these cap out at really like 50,000, but on average, you're going to see like a $30 credit limit on these cards, right? So these are going to be, in my opinion, when credit starts to get fun. These are going to be when you start to gain reward points back from doing your everyday spending. This is going to be where most people will stay. Like, most people don't ever get a top tier card, and there's nothing wrong with that, because these cards will give you more than enough of what you need. These are going to be cards that's going to be dedicated to just the average everyday consumer. So it's going to give you the most reward points. These cards and their reward structure is going to be heavily based on everyday spending. So it's going to be like, they'll give you like 4 times the reward points on restaurants and supermarkets. They're going to give you like credits for buying Apple products, or they're going to give you credit. They're going to give you 2 times the reward points back from like shopping and just things like that. So the way that an average everyday consumer spends, that's what these cards are tailored for, right? To get these cards, you typically need at least a 600. Now you can, I would say a high 500, but I would not recommend that you apply for these until you have pretty much around that 600 range, because with these cards, and this is not something that's like obviously like in black and white, but I have noticed throughout my experience, I've noticed that when you apply for these cards and you don't have like the required score, if you prematurely apply for these cards, they're gonna typically start you off at like $1,000. And again, these cards can go up to about $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. So if you start off at 1,000, you can imagine how long it's going to take you to like climb up that ladder, right? So what I personally would recommend, this is just my personal recommendations, I would recommend that you have one of these cards for 6 months, right? At least 6 months, sorry. Make sure you don't carry a balance none of those months. And let's say you already have these cards and you're like, damn, I didn't already carried a balance. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? So basically, we're going to like start the time all over. We're going to start that all over. And for the next 90 days, you are on full blown probation. And this is exactly what you're going to do. Or if you are a person who are just getting these cards, because really you only need these cards for 90 days to advance to the next level. But I say 6 months because most people are not going to be on probation with these cards. Okay. So again, no, you're never going to carry a balance on these cards. You're going to pay off your credit card in full every single month, right? Throughout the month, you're going to do at least 3 transactions, 3. So don't just use a credit card one time a month. Like, that's not how you gain access to capital and build and cultivate relationships. Credit card companies and banks want you to use your card. This is why they reward us for using our cards. They want you to use it, but they also want you to pay it back. So how you beat them at their game is you use the card, pay it back. Obviously, you're constantly going to use it and pay it back, because you're not going to spend anything that you know that you can't look in your bank account right now. If you can't cover that charge, then you don't need to be spending it, especially on these starter cards. Like, first of all, you're not even getting rewards on these cards. So there absolutely should be no reason why you are just willy-nilly spending on these particular cards, right? But you're gonna not carry a balance for 90 days. You're going to set up auto pay. And I don't mean that you have to set up auto pay for the full balance. Let me tell you guys a trick. Really, what you should do for all of your credit cards, and it's not just these cards, what I do for all of my credit cards and recommend everyone do for all of their credit cards, set up a auto pay for at least $10 above the minimum payment, right? Just $10. The reason being is because when you pay just your minimum payment, banks don't like that. Obviously, it's you just doing what you have to do. You ain't doing nothing extra, like whatever, right? So they don't like you to just pay your minimum. However, they will accept your minimum, but obviously they do not like it, right? So when you ask for a credit limit increase, or you ask and you try to apply for a new credit card, the first thing that company is going to do is to see how you are already behaving with your current credit cards. Is this person just paying a minimum payment, right? your credit profile, when you apply for a credit application, everything is done systematically. So there are different triggers and red flags within the credit card applications that will either automatically deny you or approve you. One of those things that will get you automatically denied is constantly only paying the minimum payment, guys. That is going to get you denied for credit limit increases. That's going to get you denied for other credit cards. So in order to fix that, you want to make sure that you set up auto pay, because this does two things. One, you're going to have auto pay set up, and every company loves when you have auto pay. It's just a good faith measure that you choose to do to tell the credit card company, listen, I know I'm gonna spend on this card, but I'm gonna pay it back, and here's an auto pay. You can automatically deduct it from my bank account. They love that. If you ever want to get a credit limit increase, I need you to set up auto pay 3 months before that. Okay, so you're gonna have this card. You're not gonna carry a balance. On top of that, you're going to have auto pay for at least $10 more than your minimum. Because again, even if you just pay $10 more than your minimum, guess what you didn't do? You didn't just pay your minimum. So if you apply for a credit limit increase and apply for another credit card, they can see, okay, LaShonda paying more than her minimum. As long as she ain't paying the minimum, then we're going to get her a check mark on this box, right? And that's what happens. So set it up for at least $10 more than your minimum. If you are able to make more payments, you obviously should. But in the very worst case scenario, let's say you're not able to make any more payments, at least you didn't just pay your minimum. Right. Again, you're going to have these for 6 months. Don't carry over balance, and you're going to pay more than your minimum every single month. And also, you are going to report a utilization. And hear me clearly when I say this, and this is specifically for starter cards. Starter cards. If your credit limit right now is under $2,500, listen up. You should not ever report a utilization over 10%. I mean, over 5%. And I know I normally say 10%, but with starter cards, again, you are on probation. This is not where you flexing your credit muscles yet. When we get to the mid-tier, then we can talk about having fun with our credit cards and stuff like that. But with this you in jail. You in jail with these cards. So behave yourself as such. You are not going to report a utilization over 5%. What does that mean? What does report utilization mean? Simple. There is only one day a month, and every single month that your balance matters. Well, let me rephrase that. There's 2 days a month that your balance matters. You have your due date, which everyone is privy to know what your due date is. That means that you have to pay at least your minimum payment, right? But your due date is there to determine how much you owe the bank. So the bank is going to say, okay, LaShonda carried over a $500 balance past her due date. Therefore, she's going to be charged X amount of interest on this payment, right? On this balance. You only pay interest on balances that you carry over past your due date. So if you zero out your balance every due date, then you will never pay interest on your credit cards. Okay. Now, what is the next important date? Your statement date. Your statement date. That is my favorite date of every month on every one of my credit cards. Your statement date. What's going to happen is your bank is going to send your balance to the credit bureau. So they're going to say, hey, TransUnion, hey, Equifax, hey, Experian, LaShonda's balance this month is $500. Let's say I have $1,000 credit card. That means that my utilization is going to be 50%. That's horrible, right? So you want to make sure that on your statement date, which by the way is the last day of your billing cycle, that your balance on any of these cards are below 5%. So if you have a $200 secure card, 5% of that is a bitch is horrible with math. So wait, 5%, 10% is 100. Okay, yeah, $50. Why that don't sound right? No, not $50. Why am I having a complete brain fart? If you have $1,000 credit limit, 5% of that is what's 5%? Child, I don't know. It's child, whatever 5% is. I don't know why. $5. Yeah. Is it $10? See, that's what I'm saying. Is it $10 or $5? I don't know. Anyways, listen, don't get me to doing math on live. I'm horrible. I'm good at a lot of things, but baby, math ain't never been it. And that's okay. That's okay. It ain't my ministry. Math is not my ministry. I was not blessed with the math bug. Okay. But y'all get what I'm saying. $5. Okay. Yeah. So make sure that your balance is not above 5% of your total limit come your statement date. Now, after your statement date, the day after your statement date, guess what? You can go ahead and spend on your card as much as you want to. It is a myth. It is a myth when people say that you can only use 30% of your credit cards. It is a myth when people say you can only use a certain percentage of your credit cards. It's also a myth when they say that reporting a 30% utilization is good. All of the things that we learned are myths as it pertains to credit. when it comes to wealth building, when it comes to cultivating relationships, when it comes to actually having access to capital, none of the standard rules that you probably have already learned, none of it applies in the real world. Capital One does not care that you spent $10 more or don't care. You think, listen, let me just explain. Hold on, y'all. I gotta quit holding this camera. I'll put it back in a second, but I gotta make my point. Do you think for 1 second that a bank, let's say Capital One, my name is Capital One and I'm lending money to everybody. Do you think that I only want people to use 30% of the money that I gave them? The answer is no. The answer is no. Your bank don't give a hell how much you spend on a credit card. You can spend to your limit. I personally spent, well, I don't know more because my limits are higher now, but when I had a limited credit, when my credit profile was more limited, I used to use my limit times 3 in some months. Now, what I mean by that is I made sure that by my statement date, by the date that my credit card closed, that my balance was low. That's all that matters, because your balance only matters on your statement date. It does not matter on any other day of the month. So when people say only use 30% of your credit cards, I literally want to faint. I want that advice alone it boggles my mind, because anyone who has experience with credit, anyone who, call your bank, call them, like, I don't even, whatever. You need to use your credit card in order to have credit. Now, this is where people mess up. Sorry, I'm trying not to curse because I'm on YouTube. This is where people mess up. They spend things that they can't repay back. That's the thing. As long as you can cover that charge within the same cycle, then you are good money to spend that card. I have time and time again, and still sometimes will spend well over 30% of my credit limit. Like that's an insane. If I only was restricted to 30% of my credit limit, I wouldn't have no membership points. I don't even know where I would be, because that is a myth, guys. That is a freaking myth, and that boggles my mind. Because first of all, they say that 30% utilization is good. 30% utilization is bullcrap. It's horrible, actually. You should never report a 30% utilization, ever, unless it's, again, an emergency. 30% utilization is horrible. It's way too high. You only getting access to about 80 of the 165 points that you could have access to if you lowered your utilization, and it just keeps your credit score stagnant. So if your credit score is not moving and you like, why is my score not going up? I'm paying on time. You may have even gotten collections and charge-offs deleted, right? And you wonder, like, why your score stays the same. It's because, I guarantee you, it's because of your credit utilization. You reporting a 30% utilization. That's extremely high. You should never report that, right? So back to our lesson on credit cards. So again, have these for 6 months. Don't carry a balance. Make sure you report a utilization under 5%, because, again, starter cards means that you're on probation. After you do that for at least 90 days, then apply for one of these cards. These are going to be, like I said, when credit cards start to get fun. These range from, they typically start at like 5,000 and they go up to like 50,000 depending, right? So these are going to be cards that are, like I said, tailored to your everyday spending. These are going to be the ones that will benefit you the most when it comes to restaurants, when it comes to grocery shopping, when it comes to retail shopping, when it comes to Uber, like every single thing that you normally do. These are going to be the cards that are built for this, right? Most people will get a few of these cards and they'll be good. They never want to go past these cards. These cards will typically have either no annual fee or like a $99 annual fee. And the reason why I'm mentioning annual fees is because the next category, you're going to be like, what? So again, these cards will typically have like a $99 annual fee. I think if my memory serves me correct, all of these cards either have no annual fee, like the Apple card, or they have a $99 annual fee, right? So then we have my favorite cards, which are the top tier cards. These cards are for if you have a good established credit profile. So when we talk about the American Express Platinum, when we talk about the Chase Sapphire Preferred, when we talk about the Delta Sky Miles, the City Premier, the Discover It Miles, which if you're going to look for a flight card, baby, this ain't the one. I love Discover, but she's not that girl. But these cards are going to be tailored, like remember when I said the mid-tier cards are going to be tailored towards like everyday spending. These cards are going to be tailored towards hotels, flights, pretty much hotels and flights. Honestly, pretty much is what these cards are all tailored towards. And they also come with a hefty annual fee. So for example, the American Express Platinum, the annual fee is like $700 a year. However, when it comes to top tier cards, because a lot of people cannot fathom paying a $700 annual fee. And what I try to explain is when you think of 700, when you think of annual fees, you probably are only thinking about mid-tier cards that don't really give you a lot of benefits for using your credit card. So you can't fathom like, why am I paying $700 to use this credit card? But when we talk about the top tier cards, you got to know that the benefits are there. For instance, I'm gonna use the platinum just because I already had talked about that today. Hold on, y'all. Let me hold on. I gotta pull it up because I don't want to like show. I don't know what I have on my computer screen, chat, and I've been to show all my information. So let me pull up something with the platinum, only because I had made it today, so it's available. Open all of these. All right. Let me share my screen again. Yeah. Y'all know I don't be having this ish queued up or whatever. So bear with me. Bear with me or whatever. So again, when it comes to like the top tier cards, the benefits are going to it's going to make the annual fee make sense. So if we're talking about the American Express Platinum card, which is like the one, I think it's like the card with the highest annual fee, I want to say, or up there, other than like the Centurion card. But like for the most cards, the American Express Platinum is going to be the one with the most with the highest annual fee. And the reason is because of the benefits. So when it comes to top tier cards, that credit card company is going to throw in so many benefits to justify the annual fee. So for the Platinum card, hold on. So for example, for the for the Platinum card, it's going to give you complimentary access to all of the Centurion lounges. So when you go to an airport and it has an American Express Centurion lounge, you have access to that just because you have a Platinum card. In addition to the Centurion lounges, because they're not at every airport, it does come with Priority Pass. I had it up here. I can't find it, but Priority Pass is a pass that grants you access to other airport lounges. So they don't have to just be the Centurion lounge. So I'm talking worldwide. If that airport has a lounge, the Priority Pass is going to get you into their lounge. When we talk about airport lounges, you get free food, you get free drinks. They have full bars. Everything is free, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have a full buffet. They'll have a fully stocked bar where you can get any drink under the sun for free. Now, you should tip, but again, you get it for free. In addition to that, you're going to get clear. You're going to get global entry. You're going to get TSA pre-check, which are all things that will basically get you through the airport faster. I have not waited in a regular line at the airport and I don't know how long, and it's the most amazing things. I don't have to take off my shoes when I'm going through TSA. I don't have to take out my laptop. You know, that whole airport process, this card just makes traveling easier. It just provides a luxury experience, in my opinion, to traveling. You get to, instead of having to wait at the gate, you get to go to the airport lounge. You get free Wi-Fi. You get, some will have free massages. Like it's so many benefits, right? And then they're going to give you they're going to give you 5 times back on your flights. 5 times. So if you buy a flight for $400, you're going to get 5 times that amount for just swiping your Platinum card, right? They're going to give you like free Equinox. If you are in New York City or on near that, you know what Equinox gym is? It's like a really bougie, expensive, overpriced gym. However, if you have this card, you get that for free. You get $200 in Uber credits. You get 5 times or you get 10 times the reward points on restaurants, guys. If you have, let's say your bill, child, let me not put myself in a position where I have to add up some shit on live. So let's say your bill is $100 at a restaurant. You're going to get 1,000 membership points just by swiping this card. So when we talk about the annual fee, it pays for itself a couple times over if you use this card, you know, till its full potential. So don't worry about annual fees when it comes to top tier cards, because the benefits for that card is going to make it make sense. Okay. Yes, Centurion Lounge, the Club, Escape, the Delta Sky Lounge, any lounge at an airport. I have never been denied for entry into any lounge, even if it wasn't the Centurion Lounge, since having this card ever, because it gives you access to it. It also comes with Priority Pass again. So when we talk about like how to get this card, and pretty much it's the same for most top tier cards on that list. You want to have at least a 670 credit score. You need to have an established credit profile. So that means that you already have to have a credit card that's reporting, and it has to be a primary trade line. So not you on your friend's credit card. The American Express don't care nothing about your credit, like your authorized user account. They don't care. So if you are banking on just an AU account, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to look elsewhere. You want to make sure that you don't have any late payments or any recent derogatory accounts within the last 24 months. So if you had late payments in the past, if you had collections and charge-offs in the past, you want to make sure that they're not new. They're not within the last 24 months. Your income should be at least $40,000. It's like there's no set limit. So again, American Express does not make their requirements public. So everything is based on assumptions. But it's believed that you need at least $50,000 or $40,000 a year to qualify. And you want to make sure that all of your current credit cards, you are reporting a low utilization at the time of your application. So one thing about American Express and other top tier companies like Chase, they are very they are very utilization sensitive. So that means if you already have credit cards and you are reporting a high utilization, they typically will automatically deny you, because if you cannot handle those credit cards that you currently have, why would we give you more credit, right? It's not like they are fiending to gain customers. They're going to gain customers just from their name alone. They've built up their reputation. Most people know that they have the best credit cards. So, and then it's believed. So this is also another one that's like believed. If you apply under a referral link, you do increase your approval odds. I will say, when I put my referral link on Instagram, a lot of people did say I was recently denied, but then I got approved. So I cannot confirm that. I just know that in my experience, I have noticed that a lot of people said that they were not able to get approved. I remember when I was first getting the platinum, when I first got my first American Express card, I couldn't get approved. And then when I applied under a link, I got approved. So it is what it is. And then no new non-American Express cards for at least 6 months. So American Express is very bougie. They really be wanting to feel like people are fiending for their cards. And they don't really like when you open up new trade lines within 6 months of applying for their card, because they like, nope, we're going to deny you. Now, if it's an American Express card and you apply for another one, then that doesn't, like, they don't care about that. But when it's a non-American Express card, you want to make sure that you wait at least 6 months from your last, like, posted, like your last opened credit card. And so that's like my tips on how to get this card. Now, I do have another way to get this card if you don't like meet these qualifications right off the bat. This is like what I call like my streamline process. And what I mean by that is, let me make this bigger. Okay, so this is what I recommend to get the American Express Platinum card, or any other companies like top tier card, how to get it. So what you do is, this works especially with American Express, only because American Express, after your initial application, American Express does not care about your credit score. So they're going to prioritize your relationship with them over your credit profile. What I mean by that is, if you get in with one of their entry-level credit cards. So when we talk about entry-level and we talk about American Express, it's not going to be the same as like a Discover card, right? Like, so American Express is still American Express. Their entry-level cards will require at least a 630 credit score, okay? And so you get in with one of these cards. These cards are going to be way easier to get than a platinum. It's going to be your blue everyday cash card. It's going to be your green card or the gold card. These are cards that are deemed to be entry level for American Express. So if you don't have a perfect credit profile, if you don't have a 700 plus credit score, you still can get these cards. Because a lot of people think that to get American Express, you got to have like perfect credit. That's not true. The trick is to get in on one of the cards that you know they're going to approve you for, and then cultivate that relationship. So remember when I said, outside of the initial application, American Express doesn't really consider your score. What I mean by that is, anyone who has American Express knows that after you in the door, you in the door. So when you get in the door, it's so easy to get other cards that they offer, whether that's business or personal. So get in at an entry-level card. And this is for my people who want to build business credit, who want to get the American Express business cards, which was, they're always on the top of the list for best credit business cards. But anyways, get in on one of their entry-level cards. One of these cards that you see have at least a 630 credit score still. Once you get in, this is what you need to do. You need to have 15 plus transactions a month posted. So it doesn't matter how big the purchase is. It doesn't matter how small it is. If you swipe your card at least 15 times in a single billing cycle, you are a person that constantly spends on their card. In addition to swiping your cards at least 15 times, you need to post at least 3 payments. I personally recommend posting a payment every week, so it's going to pretty much average out to about 4 payments a month. But when you can show that you constantly spend and then repay back on your credit card, baby, that is top tier to American Express. That's top tier to most banks, but we're talking about American Express right now. They love that. They love a person who constantly spends on their card and constantly repays on their card, right? Then you want to make sure that your utilization is between 1% and 3% every single month. Now, so you're going to find out your statement date on these cards. Make sure that at least 3 days before your statement date, you lowered your balance to under 3%, right? And then you let that post, and then you can spend over like it's a cycle. You can start spending again. Do that for at least 90 days because you have to do that consistently. Oh, also set up auto pay. Again, the best way to get a credit limit increase is always going to be having an auto pay established on. This is for any bank, but like I said, we're talking about American Express. So having auto pay set up, I can't stress that point to you guys enough. I really cannot stress this enough. Y'all got to start putting on auto pay. I don't care if it's just for your minimum or $10 more than you don't have to. You think auto pay and you think I got to cover your full balance. No, having an auto pay set up will literally it'll just increase your approval odds when it comes to credit limit increases. Other credit cards, like they love auto pay, guys. They love it. Okay. So set up auto pay. Do this for at least 90 days after you get one of these cards, and then try to apply for the platinum, regardless of your score. Now I will say this: the lower your credit score is, the longer I would do this. So if you have below a 600 credit, well, you ain't gonna get these cards pretty much. So if you have, let's say, below a 680, you're gonna probably have to do this for maybe like 5 or 6 months, right? Or you can if you don't have if you have a 700 plus credit score and you still are getting denied, then maybe you have a new derogatory account. Maybe you have late payments and stuff like that. So this is for the most part. Obviously, not everyone is going to qualify for this card, but this is kind of like a streamlined process to get in the door. It's personally worked for a lot of people that I've recommended this to. Like, I would just say try it. Once you're in the door with American Express, it's not like you're going to get another increase. So when you apply for a new card, it's not like they're going to pull your credit. Again, they go off your relationship with them. So they typically will go off the last 90 days. Now, if you are a new established American Express customer, then they may go off more than 90 days. So again, you may have to do it for 6 months, but you won't get an increase. So you'll get a denial if you're not qualified for it, but they won't pull your credit. It will not be a hard pull. Once you're in the door, you're good. You're good with American Express. The same goes with business cards. So I got I think my first one was the Blue Cash every day with American Express. And then now I have four personal and 3 business cards with them. They do cap you out at, I believe, 5 credit cards, and then I think 10 charge cards a piece. So I still can get some, but yeah. So you want to cultivate that relationship with them and then apply for the platinum so that you can kind of basically like get in the back door, cultivate that relationship, and then apply for the platinum or other cards. So that's how you get in. Also, let me see. I had another slide in here. This is an important one. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Recon line. I find that a lot of people haven't heard of the Recon line, but what the Recon line is, and this is not exclusive to American Express, but this number is, what a reconsideration line is once you are denied for an application, within 30 days of your application date, you should always call the company's reconsideration line. A reconsideration line brings the human aspect to the application process. So what I mean is, when you are applying for credit, you are going through a system. Everything is ran systematically. They're going to pull your score. They're going to determine what you have going for you and what you don't, and they're going to approve you or deny you based on that. But it's all done systematically. There's never going to be a person that's going to manually approve you or deny you if you apply online, right? Or even over the phone. So what you do is, when you are denied, you call the company's reconsideration line and you ask them for a manual review. What a manual review is it has a human. So you will have an underwriter or a human that is going to manually look at your credit report to determine if you can be approved or not. This is really clutch a lot of times if you are denied for like dumb reasons, like having too many increase. I cannot stress that enough. Increase is never going to be the reason why you are denied unless it's a Chase card. Chase has a set 5 and 24 rule, and that's regardless of your score. But when it comes to any other bank, if you are denied solely for increase, then you need to be calling a reconsideration line, because you're probably going to get approved for that car after you call the recon line. You have to do it within 30 days of your application, or they're going to have to give you another hard pull, which you don't want. Or most companies will just tell you they can't manually review it after 30 days. So make sure it's within 30 days. So if you are denied for your American Express card, call the reconsideration line. You have to justify everything that basically look at the denial reasons that they sent you. So they say you have recent derogatory accounts. So if you have a recent collection or a recent charge off, if it's like, let's say, if it's like a medical collection, you can say, hey, I know I am aware that I have that recent derogatory on my account. However, that is a medical bill that I was unaware of. I've been going back and forth with my insurance company, and they're trying to determine if they're going to cover it or not. So that's just like one excuse. Or you can say, hey, you can say things that they want to hear. Hey, I've been working at my job for X amount of years. I've always been an extremely responsible consumer. You can look at the rest of my credit cards. I have a X amount percent utilization. It's extremely low. I have auto pay. Like you basically are pleading your case. You're pleading your case. You're pulling in the personal aspect to credit where there is usually not any. So make sure you guys call the reconsideration line. You will be surprised at how often you will be able to turn a denial into an approval without having to get your credit ran, for a second time. Here's the number for American Express's reconsideration line. So again, if you are denied, call this number. Call this number. I cannot stress that enough. Call this number, plead your case, ask for a manual review, and you may get approved or not. It depends on your credit profile. Maybe you applied too prematurely and you just still need to work on a few things, and that's okay. Now you know what you need to work on, but I would always ask for a manual review, always, because you just never know. And by the way, you already took the hard hit anyway. You already took the increase, so you may as well ask them for another chance, because it's not like they're going to pull it again. So when it comes in y'all asking what's above the top tier cards. The only thing that's above top tier credit cards is going to be like the invitation only credit cards. So like the Centurion card, the JP Morgan Reserve card, the Citi, I forgot what they call theirs, but it's going to be invitation only cards. So that's above that. Amex is strict. If you had collections charge-offs with them, they'll ask you to repay what you owe. So yeah, as with any company, if you want to reestablish a relationship with a company, you typically will have to pay your old balance if you already had a balance with them. So yeah, for sure. What about the Navy Federal American Express card? So that card and any other co-branded card you are not considered an American Express customer if you have a co-branded card. So you will not get all of the benefits for being an American Express customer until you get one directly from American Express. Do I have to have my reports unlocked to apply? Yes, because they're not going to be able to pull your report if it's locked, of course. So yeah, you do have to have Experian at least unlocked. Which is better, Chase or Amex? Honestly speaking, they go neck and neck. I have both, and I would never recommend that someone has only an American Express card, because a lot of companies do not accept American Express cards because it's expensive to process American Express payments. So I know with a lot of small businesses, they just won't have the ability to pay with American Express, and some restaurants. So they're neck and neck. Honestly, Chase and American Express, for me, they're neck and neck. I have credit cards with both. I use both. I love them both. The only reason why I like Chase over American Express is because it's an actual bank. So if I want a home loan, if I want, you know what I'm saying? You're able, your relationship with them can go beyond credit cards. But I like both. Yeah, I'll save this. So my utilization is high right now, but my score is 720. Should I try for Amex? No. So again, American Express don't care about your score. Most credit card after the starter cards, your score don't matter. It's always going to be your credit profile. So you can have an 800. I've seen people with 800 get denied for American Express cards because they don't have everything properly set up. You can have, because you got to keep in mind, you can have an 800 credit score, and the only reason why you have that score is because maybe you are AUing on someone else's credit card, right? So that your credit score does not matter. I would recommend that you lower your utilization and then apply for American Express. So should I have more than 3 credit cards? Yeah, I mean, there's no yes or no answer to that, because it does depend on how you are doing with your current credit cards. I mean, I definitely have more than 3 credit cards, but I wouldn't recommend more than 3 for a person who always carries a balance. If you I would not recommend that unless you can handle your credit cards, because there's no set number for how many is too many. Too many is when you get more than what you can handle. That's it. Does a loan count towards utilization? It does not. So a loan is an installment account, and then a credit card is a revolving account. Revolving accounts are the only thing that's calculated into your credit utilization. Secure Discover card. Yes, I do like the Discover Secure card. for sure. It's a really good starter card. When you say you don't carry a balance, I can still carry 3% for statement purposes. I guess I'm getting confused. So yeah, so there's two different ways. There's multiple ways to do it, but I don't carry a balance because I don't like paying interest. Now, keep in mind, you definitely could just reduce your balance down to 3% and then just let that report on your statement date and you'll be fine. But you got to pay interest on that 3%. Now, if you don't mind paying a few extra dollars, that's cool. I'm one of those people that, like, I'm a penny pincher. So if I don't have to pay something, I'm not going to pay it. So I don't carry a balance. Which is better, Capital One or Discover? For which card? You got to be specific, because I mean, in terms of just like the companies, I put them on the same category. Capital One and Discover are neck and neck, in my opinion. Let me see. Does American Express offer credit limit increases? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now, this is the thing. American Express has two types of cards. They have credit cards and then they have charge cards. So credit cards are like any other credit card. They will give you a limit. Where they're charge cards, they will not give you a preset limit, but that doesn't mean that you can unlimitedly spend. No preset limit for American Express just means that you don't have a set credit limit. Therefore, you will not have a utilization being reported, which is, I guess it could be a good or bad. I think it's a good thing for me. And then two, like, you don't know how much you can spend unless you check your spending power. So here, I don't have that pulled up. I'm gonna have to look too long. What is the best credit card to get with a high limit? What you mean? Like, because, okay. I'm trying to, how can I like explain this without doing like a full-blown webinar? I don't want to bore y'all. So when it comes to credit card limits, if your limit is low, that just means that that's what your income or your credit profile allotted for. So you either have to change the narrative, meaning like you have to spend on your card and repay it back. When applying for multiple cards, would you start off with the Chase because of their 5 and 25 policy? As long as you get them within your first, well, this is the thing, it's 5 and 24. So as long, it means that you cannot have more than 5 opened credit cards within 24 months. So it doesn't, people think that the 524 mean increase. It doesn't mean increase. You can have more than 5 increase and get approved for a Chase card. It's going to be for how many cards that you've opened. So 5 open credit cards within 24 months is too many. Honestly speaking, more than 3 credit card, opening more than 3 accounts within a year is excessive. You should not try to. The thing is, when people build credit, they either go too slow or they try to go too fast. And like you really have to find that sweet spot. So your first year in building credit, you shouldn't open more than 3 trade lines, in my opinion. And if you do open more than 3 trade lines on your first year, just don't do it again. After your first year, that second year, you should be chilling. Like, you maybe apply for 1 or 2 things at the most, but you shouldn't be applying for things just like constantly. Like, first of all, it's not even enough credit cards in the world that like the credit cards are too much alike. So, oh, those glasses are cool. Thank y'all. Whoever just gave it. Thank you. Credit cards don't really differ. Like, you have your set like 10 credit cards and they all gonna really give you the same thing. So there's no need to have. This is what I recommend. Instead of getting a bunch of low-level credit cards that really doesn't benefit you in the long run, get your set 2 to 3 credit cards and work on increasing those limits. Because the less accounts you have, well, let me not say that. The less credit cards you have and the higher limits, the less increase that you're going to take, the less credit days you're going to lose. Because you got to keep in mind, every single account that you open, you're going to lose credit days. No matter how great your credit score is, no matter how horrible your credit score is, you are going to lose credit days anytime you open an account or anytime you delete an account. So you got to keep that in mind. So you don't want to just open up so many accounts and all of your credit days just going out the window. Can I show the starter cards again? Yes, I can. I certainly can, or whatever. Let me bring it up. Did I exit out that screen? Okay, here it goes. Here it goes. Hold on. Let me make this bigger or whatever. Hold on, y'all. It's not gonna get no bigger? That sucks. Whatever. All right, here it goes. All right. So these are going to be your starter cards. These are going to be what doesn't require a certain credit score. Like, Again, these are going to be the ones that are really limited though. And remember, when you have these cards, you are on probation. You do not need more than 2 starter cards. Do not get more than 2 starter cards. You are going to regret it. You're going to regret it because when you start to get your mid-tier cards, these cards are going to look like ants. These cards are going to look like dirt. You're going to hate spending on these cards when you start to like gain those rewards and stuff like that for doing your normal spending. You're going to hate these cards. And the thing is, you should never close a credit card. Credit cards are not a temporary obligation. You're really supposed to keep a credit card for life. So don't get so many low-level cards that in 6 months you're gonna hate. Don't get it. So you good with one of these, but at the most 2. At the most 2. And then here are the mid-tier cards, aka like most people's favorite cards. And then I'll show you the top tier in just a second. What middle tier credit card should I get? I started 4 months ago and spend a lot, want to earn points on it. So it's not about how much you spend. What's your current utilization? And your whole profile, really, like what other it all depends. So you definitely got to have at least more than 4 months established credit. So I probably will hold off for a few more months and then I would apply for these. How long did it take you to get your credit where you wanted it? So that I don't never know how to answer that question because number one, it took me way longer than it should because I was learning as I went. I didn't know what I knew now. And then number two, I didn't have any set I just applied when I wanted to. You get what I'm saying? So I don't even know how to explain or answer that. Honestly, I would say that anyone, if you take a solid year to focus on your credit profile, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get any card that you want to get. I'll say that. So because everyone's credit profile is different. So even if I were to say it took me 2 months, which it didn't, if it took me 2 months, that doesn't have any, like, it's not going to mean that for your credit profile. Why for life? Because a credit card is not an installment. So there's no set term limit. There's no set expiration date. You get a credit card with the assumption that you're going to have it forever, right? When you close any credit card, you're going to lose credit age, and that utilization is obviously not going to be reported anymore. So your score is going to go down when you close your credit cards, meaning you shouldn't close them. You should from the very beginning, you should already only get credit cards that you actually want. Now, with the exception of like a starter card that you got to get because you need it. But I still have my $200 credit right in my wallet alongside credit cards with $60,000 limits, with $100,000 limits, with $80,000 limit. I also still have my Capital One Platinum card with a $200 limit. So you have what's called a credit age, and then you have a revolving credit age. And a lot of people don't talk about revolving credit age because it's not calculated into your credit score. Your revolving credit age is how long you have, how many years of experience do you have with credit cards. So your regular credit age on your credit your regular credit age on your credit profile is going to take into consideration every single thing that's reported on your credit report. Whether that's everything has credit age, whether that's a collection, a charge off, a regular credit card, a loan, every single thing that's currently on your credit profile has a credit age, right? So that's where you will get your average credit age. But then you also have a revolving credit age that no one talks about. It's not calculated into your score, but it's absolutely one of those things that companies look at. How many years does LaShonda have experience with using credit? Because just because a person paid their loan on time for years doesn't mean that they know how to use a credit card, right? So they're going to look at how long you have had with a credit card. So that $200 credit card, and I always tell you guys this, a $200 credit card that you got 7 years ago is more beneficial to your credit profile than a $20,000 credit card from American Express. Dead ass. A $200 credit card, listen, to make it real for you, a $200 First Premier credit card or Credit One credit card that's a few years old is more beneficial to your credit profile than if you were to get the American Express Platinum card. Literally. Because your credit limit does not matter in terms of your score. The only thing that matters is the percentage of the balance that you report, right? Your utilization. So that 2-year credit card, I mean that $200 credit card has 7 years of history with it. 7 years of history, meaning that it has years of one-time payments reported, right? It has years of history. Whereas the new American Express card that you just got, it ain't got nothing but a credit limit. I mean, but a higher credit limit. That doesn't matter. Your credit, like the limit does not matter. It's going to be the time in which you had that card open. So the older the credit card is, the more it benefits your credit profile. This is why you shouldn't close cards. Especially like if you close a card, I always tell people, if you got to pick, like, let's say you messed up in the beginning and you just got too many starter cards, because I effed up and did that, and a lot of people do. If you got to decide what credit card you're going to close the one. Don't close your first one. Don't close your first one. The only exception is if, let's say, you opened up a few credit cards around the same time, and if you close your first one, you will still have other credit cards with that same credit age. Then I can see it, understand that your score is going to go down, but like I get it. I definitely get it. um well, even with the platinum, it's not necessarily unlimited. So no American Express card is no charge card is unlimited. No preset limit means that you just don't have an established credit utilization. I mean, you don't have an established limit. So that means that depending on your spending, depending on your relationship with them, they can increase and decrease how much you are allowed to spend in that month, right? So what I mean by that is, the more you spend on your American Express card, the higher your spending power is going to be. So right now, tomorrow, I can literally buy a Range Rover. I can buy a Tesla, fully paid for on my American Express Platinum card. Would I ever do that? Hell no. But I'm just saying, my spending power, when I check, well, full disclosure, when I showed you guys that my spending power was $100,000, it was only because, I don't know if you guys know this, but between after Thanksgiving and before the end of the year, before December 31st, is going to be when you should ask for credit limit increases with your cards, by the way. So if you've been on your best behavior and doing good with your credit cards, now is the time to ask for a credit limit increase, because a lot of companies will reserve funds just for holiday season. They want you to spend, so they're going to give you more money. So typically speaking, my American Express Platinum, my spending power is probably like $60,000 on a normal month. But I did check on Black Friday, and it was $100,000. And that's the screenshot that I've been showing you guys. So that's not my normal spending power, because I definitely don't spend that much on my card. But it's the after Thanksgiving offer, which, like I said, for a lot of banks, they reserve funds for a holiday season. So if you have not gotten an increase within the last 90 days, I would ask for one. That's what I'll say. I personally, I save my credit limit increases request. I don't apply for any credit limit increases within 90 days of Black Friday, ever, because I know that as soon as Friday come, these banks are gonna give me more money. Just like my damn, I be getting these names mixed up. That's the Chase. Shit, I don't know the name. I don't know the name of the card, but my Apple Card, I got an increase on that yesterday as well. But y'all know how I feel about the Apple Card. My American Express card, my spending power was raised. So this is not exclusive to American Express. It's pretty much for every bank. They're gonna typically give you more money. Or if you don't have the card, you can apply now, and you typically will get a higher spending power or a higher credit limit based on just it being holiday season. Do you freeze starter cards? What you mean freeze? Mm-mm. I have a subscription. I recommend that you guys set a subscription on all of your cards, especially the cards that you don't use, because the number one reason why credit cards are closed is going to be due to inactivity. So if you are not using your credit card, the bank going to say, toodles, we're going to close your card, and we're going to get a limit to Lashana, because we know Lashana going to spend this money. Lashana asking for more money. This is what American Express saying. American Express is going to say, Lashana asking for a credit limit increase, and we know she good money, because based on all of these months, we know that she gonna spend and she gonna pay back. So we gonna get her this money. And you know where they get that money from? They gonna take it from people who don't use their cards. Okay, well, Sarah, she don't use her credit card. So toodles, you could go. We don't need you. We're gonna close your credit card. So the number one reason why cards are closed is due to inactivity. So you have to use your credit cards, guys. You have to. So my advice would be to set a subscription on all of the cards, especially if you don't use it, on all of your cards that you don't use. So when I say subscription, I mean like an Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, whatever subscription that you currently have that you already are paying for, set that subscription on your old credit cards. Set up auto pay, because all they're going to charge you is the $7.99 a month, however much your subscription is. Set a subscription on there so you can have activity every single month. If you have a subscription on there and you have auto pay, there's going to be transactions every single month. Therefore, it will never be closed due to inactivity. Okay, so make sure you use your credit cards if you don't want them to close. The worst thing in the world is not using your old credit cards, like I said, because y'all gonna hate those cards in a minute. Not using your credit cards and then it closing and your credit score just plummeting, because you lose years of credit history by letting your credit cards close. Will they take an increase back if you don't use it? Absolutely. 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 You have to use your credit cards, guys. I don't know a single reason why you would ever pull out your debit card. Honest to God. I don't know a single reason why anyone would ever use their debit card over their credit card unless they're getting cash. That's the only time I use my debit card is if I need cash, because I'm never going to do a cash advance on my credit cards if I can help it. But yeah, there's no reason why you should use your debit card, guys. I cannot stress that point enough. It's cringeworthy when I see, oh my God, yeah, I was watching this TikTok. Oh my, first of all, let me tell you the videos that I love on TikTok. I love those like mini vlogs. I love like the Black girl luxury type thing. I just love watching other people just like spend money. I've always been like that. But let me tell you what I cringe at. And I seen this on when people are buying, especially any purchase, but especially luxury purchases where you are spending thousands of dollars. You're spending thousands of dollars from a debit card. Oh my God, I'd be wanting to throw up. I'd be thinking like, oh my fucking God, there could have been so many points. I literally, yesterday I was watching a video. This girl bought what was it, Fendi? A Fendi purse. I think that purse was like $6,000. She pulled out her debit card. And I was distracted the whole video because the only thing I was thinking is, God damn, that was a free flight. That could have been a free flight that came with your new bag that you just purchased had you just used a credit card. Use a credit card, guys. There's no reason why you should use a debit card. Honestly, it's so pointless. Debit cards are so, I don't know. Debit cards are, no, they don't benefit you. Don't use them. And like I said, you don't have to, like, you doing your normal spending. So like you go to McDonald's, you, instead of giving them your debit card, get them your credit card. And then that $15 that you was finna spend on your debit card anyway, because you was finna buy a McDonald's with your debit card, all you got to do is put that payment towards your credit card immediately. So you killing two birds in one stone. You showing usage on your credit cards, and also you're paying it back. You're paying it back. Is the Amazon card good to use? Amazon has, I think now they got like 3 credit cards, but their credit card with Synchrony Bank I don't like. But their newest credit card I want to say is with, don't give me the line because I don't know the exact bank, but it's a good, yeah, I'm not mad at that card. When I looked at it, it was giving you good benefits. So I'm not mad at that card. But I will say, well, I don't like to discourage people from getting certain cards, but I just, listen, when it comes to any retail cards, you pretty much are always going to be better off getting just a regular open-ended bank card, and it's going to benefit you more. So, oh yeah, it's with Chase. Yeah, you're right. Their newest card is with Chase. That's what I was talking about. Because Amazon has like 3 different cards. Like they just doing whatever they want to do. But the one with Chase I do like. Now, do I like full blown recommend it? I mean, if we speaking professionally, what I would recommend is that you just get a Chase Sapphire Preferred or get a Chase Sapphire card, and it's not just tied to Amazon. You can use it anywhere, but it also still gives you a good return on your Amazon purchases, And also with American Express cards, you know that you can use your membership points to cover Amazon purchases. I'm a person that shops at Amazon like every single day. I'm constantly just using my American Express points. Like, so everything I be getting on Amazon be free. What's my favorite card? My favorite card is the American Express Platinum, and then it's going to be the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Then it's going to be the American Express Blue Cash every day. Then it's going to be the Citi Double Cash. And I always get up here and talk about the Citi Double Cash because I really think that if you have at least a 590 credit score, this is going to be, when it comes to mid-tier cards, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best cards on this list is going to be the Citi Double Cash. This card is so fucking slept on. Like, I don't understand why more people don't have this card, but I know because most of these other cards are like name brand cards, but this card is a really good card. It's a Citi Double Cash. So literally every single time you swipe your card, you're going to get double the points back. So that adds up extremely fast. People keep asking about this damn Apple Card. Y'all, let me quit talking about Apple Card. Just in case Tim Cook out there and he want to reach out to me. No, I'm just playing. Because I'm going to steal shit on this Apple Card. This fucking Apple Card. Where's I thought I had my wallet in here. I'm on YouTube. I'm so sorry. Let me start that. This Apple Card is trash compared to these other cards. Like, listen, all of these cards pretty much require the same credit profile and all of that. I get that the Apple Card is a name brand card. And I want to preface everything that I'm finna say by I have this card, right? So when I'm talking about this card and I'm saying it's dumb, I'm talking about me too, because at this point we all have on our clown mask and we all are stupid for being bamboozled by Apple. So the Apple card is the epitome of a name brand card. Like it's literally an Apple card, and they made it titanium. And because Apple is the number one marketer in the world, they definitely know how to make people want something. That oh, I keep wanting to curse. Why am I okay? This Apple card is trash compared to all of these other cards. So instead of getting the Apple card, if you don't already have it, get a City Double Cash, get a Freedom Unlimited, get an American Express Gold, like get a card that you're gonna actually benefit from. Because and I keep saying it every time I talk about the Apple card, y'all, I want to mention 3 times the reward points. Let me turn this thing around because I can't talk and hold this. Without failure, every single time I mention this Apple card, somebody in the comments say, what about the 3 times the reward points? Let's look together, because y'all don't got to take my word ever for anything in life. As a matter of fact, anytime somebody is giving you financial advice, you should absolutely double check, triple check, and I triple check everything that they say. So we're just gonna look at it together, because I don't want you to take my word for anything. This fucking car is so trash, and they know that, and it's so annoying because they know exactly how to market it. They know how to get people to want it. Like they make it tight. It's really cute. The Apple card is really cute, but that's all it is. So people say 3 times the reward points, 3 times the reward points. Guys, Apple only give you 3 times the reward points on Apple purchases. How often are you buying Apple purchases? Look, they love leading a whole advertisement with this damn 3% advertisement. Sis, you only got Apple. Save 3% on everything you buy from Apple. What's the cheapest thing Apple got? First of all, because you already spending $1,000. Like, okay, yeah, you're gonna buy it. If let's say I'm a person who I have Apple everything. I'm an Apple sheep. I love Apple, and even I hate this card. You're gonna buy it from Apple what, once a year? Like you ain't gonna get no benefits from getting 3 times back on Apple purchase. It's insane. And then they have 2% cash back on, or not cash back, but reward point, Apple Cash points when you use it with Apple Pay. So again, that's only with Apple Pay. So if you are if you're not using Apple Pay at the store, then you only getting 1% back from that. 1%. This is a whole rant, guys, because I'm so sick of this card. I'm mad at myself for getting this card, but whatever. 1% on every other purchase is the freaking it's not a benefit. It's not a benefit when you put it against other cards that require the same credit score and the same credit profile. And then in addition to their trash reward system, in addition, because it's more, their limits is trash. Limits. They don't give you good limits. Like I had every bit of an 800 credit score when I applied for Apple, and I think they started me off at like 1,700. I have cards with 60,000 credit limits. I have cards with 80,000. They gave me $1,700. I mean, I've gotten increases since then, but even then, they're very stingy with their credit limit increases. Their APR, somebody just said the interest rate is insane. So while I don't pay interest rate on any of my credit cards, Apple card is absolutely not a card that you want to carry a balance on, because their interest rates are extremely high. Extremely high. Their APR, I'm sorry, is extremely high. So that is what I think about the Apple card. I think that it's cute. It's a statement, I guess, if that's the statement that you want to make. But it's definitely not the best card that you can get for the requirements. Like I recommend that you get a City Double. Like I'm telling you, if you don't have if you don't have any cards on a mid-tier list, and you just want a card that's like tailored towards everyday spending, I'm gonna recommend a City Double Cash, and then I'm gonna recommend either the American Express Blue Everyday Cash or the Gold. Those are the best cards on this list, and the Freedom Unlimited. So it's about 4 great cards on this list. Why I'm not recommending the Capital One? I don't have beef with Capital One. Any Capital One card outside of their starter cards is just not my forte. First of all, City is not a cool card. I'm gonna let you feel that way. But I'm talking about when you compare it to other cards. What card? Let me just challenge you this, because you just said you was an avid credit card user. I love discussions. Of this list, what card would you say is the best for the person who just said that the City Double Cash is trash? What card do you feel like the best is on this list, and why do you feel like it's the best? Outside of, like, don't just say like American Express because this is an American Express card. Like, let's talk actual tangible things that makes credit cards good or not. So to give you guys a clue, I measure credit cards based on how much I can get in return for using that card. Because first of all, not even a credit limit is really my determining factor, because you can always get a credit limit increase, and you know that is what it is. I'm talking about like the benefits just on the card, what the card comes with. That you said because my American Express is better than the City Double Cash. What American Express? What American Express? Let's talk in specifics. What American Express? Because if you're talking about the American Express Gold, yes, that's a really good card, especially if you purchase food a lot. It's a really good card, actually. Yeah, that definitely does measure up to the City Double Cash, but I'm meaning like, but even still, because I'm just thinking about like, because yeah. After the first year, you know, this card kind of goes down the list for me, because, you know, within the first year, you get a lot of benefits. And then after that, you still get benefits, but it's not as much as the first year. Oh, what about Navy Federal? Navy Federal, majority of Navy Federal cards will be on this mid-tier list, with the exception of their, and I'm a stumble on names here, so I'm just going to warn you guys. If I say the wrong name, I'm sorry. What is the American Express's? I want to say it's the green card. What is that card called? Is it the red one is on this list. I don't know I don't know Navy Federal's names, but I want to say they have isn't their green card their top card? I could be wrong. But the majority of American Express, not American Express, majority of Navy Federal cards will go on this list. They will not be considered top tier cards, no matter what the limit is. Because I know y'all like, because they gave me a $20,000 American Express. I keep saying American Express. Navy Federal pretty much starts everybody off with $20,000. So it's not, in my opinion, on the top tier list. Flagship. That is what it is. What color is the flagship card? Flagship. That's the card I'm talking about. The flagship Navy Federal card is going to be on top tier. And even then, I don't really think it's top tier. But, the rest of their cards are going to fall under mid tier. What comes after top tier? Invitation only cards. So these are going to be the cards that you literally have to get invited to apply for. So it's going to be like the black card, which is the Centurion card, the JP Morgan. I want to say this is the reserve. Is this the reserve? No, the signature card from JP Morgan. The city chairman card, the Stratus Rewards card. So these are going to be invitation only cards. How many cards do I have in total, including like my low level cards, my store cards? I probably have like 12 maybe. But I only use 7. I literally regret 6 of those. 5 of those. What card should I get for my first credit card? I would say the Discover It card or the Platinum or the Capital One Platinum card. What about the Costco credit card? I don't like store-based credit cards at all, retail-based credit cards. I have a few store cards. I hate all of them. But like, honestly, store cards are very limiting. So you should probably just get an open-ended credit card, honestly. Can I do a video for all of my credit cards? Yeah. Yeah, I can. I'm excited that you guys want to learn more about credit cards, because I'm a credit card junkie. So I'm obsessed with credit cards. So I always be like using my points. Like, I'm an avid credit card user. So but I never knew that you guys would be interested in like the top tier cards. So if you notice, all of my content was based around like, here's the first card that you're going to get, because I thought that for the most part, everyone was just trying to build credit, But now that I know you guys are interested in like credit card benefits and which ones I recommend, which ones are my favorite and why, you got to know that content is definitely coming. Navy Federal has a new bluish one higher than the green. Okay, so if they have a new car, I'm definitely not privy to it, because I haven't really looked at their car. So yeah. Can you please provide a guesstimate of the CC limit range given for each tier? Yeah, let me go over it real quick. So the starter cards, they start at 200 and they pretty much go up to about 2,500 a piece, right? Depending. And then for the mid-tier cards, they pretty much will start at $2,000, but on average they'll start at least $5,000. But they can get up to about $40,000 to $50,000 per card. The top tier cards, they're not really gonna start you off with anything under $10,000. And if they do, that means that you shouldn't have applied for the card yet. It was too premature. So if you have any of these cards and your spending power or your credit limit is below $10,000, then you was not really ready for that card. You should have waited a little bit. But these cards will typically start you off at $20,000, and then they can go up to $100,000 a piece. So give or take. But for the most people, they're just going to stay in this range. They'll get a few of these cards and build those credit limits up and have $30,000 each. You add that up, you get 3 cards. That's $90,000 in credit limits. So, what is the best frequent flyer miles? My favorite travel card in the whole entire world is going to be one of these cards. It's going to be the Platinum, the American Express Platinum card, or the Chase Sapphire Preferred, or the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. What about the Chase Trifecta? So I have 3 cards with Chase. Now, again, I don't want to say, well, I guess I would say I definitely use my Platinum more. I'll say that. I just find that the miles and the reward points I gain them faster with American Express because of how they sort out their reward system. With American Express, do you have to pay an entire balance off for what you use for the month? So with their charge cards, it is advised that you never carry a balance. So the American Express Platinum is a charge card, but they do have credit cards. So the Blue Everyday Cash is a regular credit card. So yes, you can carry a balance. Now, when we talk about, like I said, like actually getting access to high, because honestly speaking, I just feel like I'm doing too much of my opinion in this lot. Let me quit because I don't be wanting to offend nobody, child. I have American Express Platinum. What's the best top tier card? If you already got the Platinum, then the only thing that's going to stand close to that is going to be the City Premier or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. That's the only thing. But I don't know if I would even recommend that you get another top tier card if you already have a Platinum right now. I would. Do you have mid tier cards? Because don't think just because you got a top tier card that these mid tier cards doesn't make sense. Because keep in mind, these are going to be what's tailored towards everyday spending. These are going to be aimed at like traveling and stuff. And you don't do that every day. So you want to have good cards in the mid tier that's going to benefit you for spending, so you can actually rack up the reward points for it. As a college student, what's the best starter card? With no interest? Oh, credit cards come with interest, so you got to let that no interest go. That's the credit is interest, right? So starter card is probably the Discover It student card. It's my favorite student card, or the Capital One Journey, but that's $695 annual fee. Yeah, so I don't want to go over the benefits of this card all over again because I've already done it. But the benefits, if you use the card till its full potential, that $695 fee come and goes with the wind. Like, I will pay that time and time again. To put it into perspective, actually, I'll pull it up. Yeah, no, I'm a shower. I hate explain. Oh, I'm gonna put this down because again, I don't be knowing what's gonna pop up, child. Hold on. I'm gonna show you how how that $700 fee made sense with just one purchase. All right, let me pull it up. So right. Is that it? Hold on, y'all. I gotta pull it back up. I don't know why I be exiting out stuff after I show y'all. Where is it at? I can't. It's on my phone, and I don't feel like. Anyways, the point I was trying to make is, if you use the card till its full benefit, that $700 fee is nothing. Every top tier card is going to have an annual fee, a high one, because of the benefits. Now, when we talk about $700 is unreasonable if you're talking about like a Discover card or an Apple card or something like that, because it does not come with that many benefits. It's unreasonable to expect a consumer to pay $700 a year. But for the top tier credit cards, you're gonna pay a hefty annual fee, but you're gonna get that back times 10 with the benefits that it gives you. Are charge cards and credit cards reported the same way? No, they are not. So, well, they report on-time payments the same way, but with a credit card, you're going to have a utilization reported. With a charge card, there's no utilization. No utilization. Can I show the invites? What you mean? Invites. What that mean? Oh, invitation only cards. Is that what you meant? I think that's what you meant. This is the invitation only card. No, I don't have any invitation only cards. I don't think I would ever get one, because y'all talking about a $700 annual fee for the Black card alone is like $10,000 a year. But that's because it sounds unreasonable for us, because we're not spending $100,000 plus a month on our credit cards. These are going to be cards that unless you spend $70,000 to $100,000 a month on your credit cards, these are not going to make sense, right? So that's why I don't really talk about them, because it's just like, if you already spending $100,000 on your credit card, then you already know those cards exist anyway. But yeah, I don't think I would ever. It's no point. Like, I already knew when I first even got with American Express, I already knew that the platinum card was my goal, and that's where I would stop with American Express. Now, I do have other business cards with them that I love, but I don't want no other card from them unless they come out with like a new Holy Grail card. Lowe's versus Home Depot cards. Neither. I mean, not neither. It's just that, again, I don't like retail cards. They're just extremely limiting. You can literally just get a regular credit card and spend it anywhere, including Lowe's and Home Depot. And you know, I know that I've been on lives and even bootcamp, and none of my questions are ever answered. What question? If you have a top tier Amex, could you have it changed to another top tier? Yeah, you can. You can transfer your card now. Of course, American Express has to approve it. A lot of people, well, American Express don't like this, so I'm not gonna even say it. But yeah, you can definitely change your card. Yep. I am pre-approved for a Quick Silvers on Experian. My credit score is 680. I only have a self card and a Capital One. Should I apply? So when it comes to pre-approvals or pre-qualifications, you guys want to always take that with a grain of salt. Understand that your credit profile only has to match about 30% of the requirements for you to be sent a pre-approval or pre-qualification. So this is why a lot of times people are denied even after they were pre-approved, even after they are pre-qualified. So don't take that with a grain of salt, especially when it comes from Credit Karma. Credit Karma is trash anyway, but they're an advertisement site. Companies pay to advertise towards you. So even if they say you are pre-qualified, doesn't mean anything. To answer your question, you said you had a 680 credit score. You said you have a 680 credit score, you have a self card, and you have a Capital One. Your score is around 680, so I'm just going to already assume that your utilization is low. Is giving me that your utilization is under 10%. Is that true or false? If that is true, then I would not qualify. I mean, I would not recommend that you apply for a Quicksilver with a 680. I would recommend, a better credit card. A Quicksilver to me is a cool card, but it's definitely not. Apply for American Express Blue Cash every day. Apply for the City Double Cash. Apply for the Chase Freedom Unlimited with a 680. I would absolutely not waste a 680 on a Quicksilver card. Personally, that's my personal opinion. But why is my score not moving? I am reporting a 30% utilization. That's you already answered your own question. That's why your score not moving. 30% utilization is literally going to keep your score stagnant for the rest of your life if you don't lower that utilization. Can I cancel my retail card without penalizing? No, there's no way to cancel any credit card without it penalizing your credit, because you're going to lose credit age when it's closed. What is a good credit card for someone who has no credit? Discover It's Secure or Capital One Platinum. When can you request an increased limit? Every 90 days. So typical banks will require you to wait 90 days. For the cards that don't check my credit for a credit limit increase. So for example, my American Express cards, my Apple card, I apply for a credit limit increase every 90 days with no freaking shame in the world. Every 90 days, I'm going to apply for something. If I got the credit cards and I'm going to use them. LOL, you always say you apply for a credit limit increase so often. How much is your goal for credit limits? Honestly, I don't have no goal. My attitude around credit is I'm going to take as much as available to me, and I'm going to use it when I want to. So the higher credit limits that I have, the more I can spend on my cards, without being penalized. So let's say I wanted to buy a whole truck, I want to start a trucking business. I want to buy an 18-wheeler tomorrow. Based on my current credit cards, I can do that, and it still won't even hurt me that much when it comes to utilization. So I'm the type that I'm gonna get whatever they're gonna give. I'm gonna get whatever they're gonna give. Like, no, I don't use, like, a lot of people think when I say I have all this credit card, they think that I'm like in a massive credit card debt and stuff. No. They miss the whole part when I say I don't spend anything that I cannot pay back within the same billing cycle. That's the most important part. Don't miss that part. So when I say, hey guys, I have $100,000 credit limit on this, that don't mean I'm spending it. Like, listen. Outside of this, I am cheap as hell. Ask my family. I don't play. Every dollar count. Everything. I'm the person that will put something back for 20 cent difference. I don't play. But again, I'm just gonna get whatever they give. So you gonna give it, I'm gonna take it. You gonna give it, I'm gonna take it. Is it good to not use a platinum CC that you are trying to get utilization down on? See, that's the thing. So you ran up the credit card. So, but your focus definitely, if you ran up your credit card, your focus should not be on spending it. It should definitely be on lowering your utilization. So until you get it lowered, then you can start spending. What's the topic tonight? Credit cards. How do I feel about Apple? It's okay. It's an okay card. It's not a really good card. Does requesting credit line increases affect credit score? Not unless they do a hard pull. So Chase, they'll do a hard pull. Like even if you apply for a credit limit increase, even if you already have the account, they're gonna pull your credit. So you're gonna lose about 2 to 3 points for the increase. Speaking of increase, let's talk. Speaking of increase, because I keep saying y'all ask, is this card gonna give me an increase? Listen. I be trying to realize if I feel like getting into a whole rant. Okay, here's my inquiry rant. Stop worrying about inquiries. Y'all be really worried about inquiries, and I cannot understand that for the life of me. Do y'all realize that inquiries are only 10% of your score? 10%. They only affect your score for a year. After that, they're still on your profile, but they're not calculated into your score. You know how you go up to a car lot and they run your credit 15 times? You think that all of them is hurting you? No, they do deduplicate. So that means that all of the credit applications that you fill out within a 14-day span is going to only hurt you for the weight of one. So you can have 60 inquiries and it's probably only hurting you like 3 points. It's probably only hurting you. Hold on, somebody just called me. Who is that? I don't know. It's probably only hurting you about 3 points, right? So this is where I have a problem with y'all talking about increase. This is where I have a problem. Can y'all hear me? This is why I have a problem with y'all talking about increase. People will not build credit. They will not establish credit because they are scared of getting an inquiry. Fuck it. We finna have to go into the full lesson because y'all ain't gonna feel me unless y'all see it. So I gotta show you. So give me 2 minutes, 2 seconds, so we can just talk about increase. So we can talk about y'all be stressing about nothing. Hold on. I'm sorry. I know if you already didn't join my live, I do this every live. I do it every live. So if you already know the breakdown, you know what's coming. If you're a credit cousin, you already know what's coming. Bear with me. Let's just go back to the basics real quick, and then we could talk more about credit cards. So look, hey, somebody screen record this for me and then send it to me because I'm gonna post this on the page later. All right. Welcome to your credit profile 101. All right, for real talk. Seriously, I'm being real serious right now. I'm done playing. Okay. All right. So listen, when it comes to your credit score will range between 300 and 850. So that means that the lowest score that you can have is a 300, and then the highest credit score that you can have is 850, right? So between 300 and 850 is 550 points that you have control over. What does that mean? It means that those 550 points are broken down into 5 categories. Those categories, which you've probably seen before, which is if you ever heard of the 35, 30, 15, 10, and 10, that is your credit profile. So let's dive deep into what that actually means. So your payment history is 35% of your credit profile. So of those 550 points, your payment history is claiming 192.5 of those, right? And then you have your credit utilization, which is 30% of your credit profile, of your credit score, which of the 550 points, it takes 165 points of those, right? Then you have credit age, which is 15% of your credit score, but also worth 82.5 points. Then you have increase, and then you have credit mix, which are both equally yoked. They're 10% each. They're worth 10% each of your credit profile, which will add up to 55 points each. So what does this mean? This means that one late payment can decrease your credit score between 50 and 100 points. One. No matter how good your score is, you can have an 800 credit score. If you report a late payment, which is if you are at least 31 days past the due date, then your credit score will decrease at least 50 to 100 points. And the reason why the range is so wide, because it does depend on how many points that you're getting from these other categories, right? So one late payment can decrease your score 50 to 100 points. That one late payment takes you about 9 to 11 months to undo that impact. So again, if you report a late payment this month, which is it's December 1st. So if you report a late payment this month, it's going to take you basically into next December to get all of those points that you lost back from that late payment, right? Late payment and payment history is the biggest portion of your credit score. No, I meant 31 days. So it's 31 days. So if they can't report a late payment until it's 31 days past the due date. So I didn't mean 30. I actually meant 31 days. So anyways, the payment history is 35% of your score worth up to 192.5 points. The only way you're able to get all of those 192.5 points is if you have a perfect payment history for it got to be for a while. So it can't just be like you just got a perfect payment history for a year. No, it has to be like literally like 5+ years of perfect payment history. But if you had a late payment during that time, then you know that you're not getting all of these points, right? So then you have credit utilization. Credit utilization takes into account all of your active credit cards. So if you, let's say you filed bankruptcy and you closed all of your old credit cards or all of your cards closed due to inactivity, then you are not getting any points for credit utilization. If you do not have a credit card, you are not, listen. If you don't have a credit card, you're not getting none of these points, like not even one. You're not getting any of the points that's allotted for credit utilization without an active credit card. This is why I always tell you guys, you can't have good credit without a credit card. Guys, you cannot have great credit without a credit card. And it's not an opinion. It's simply how, based on how our credit profiles are breaking down, you cannot, it is impossible to have great credit missing 30% of your credit profile. It's impossible, right? And then you have credit age, which is an average amount of time that you have been dealing with credit. So to find out your credit age, you will take your oldest account age times your newest account age, and then you would divide it by the total amount of accounts that you have. And that is going to give you your average credit age, right? So what does credit age means? Anytime you open a credit card, anytime you open a credit account or anytime you close a credit account, your credit age will be affected because remember, it is average. It's an average time. So let's say you have student loans that you opened at 18 and you are my age, you're 29 years old and you open student loans at 18. This is my scenario. My credit age right now is only about 4 years long because it's an average. My first trade line I opened at 18, it was student loans. And then my most recent card I probably got within the last 9 months. Therefore, my credit age is extremely low. That's what I struggle with, right? So unless you have 10 years of established credit age, then you are not getting all of these points, right? So then we have increase and then we have credit mix. For increase, if you have 2,000 increase on your credit profile, the most that it can affect you is 55 points. So that means that you can have 100 or you can have a 795 credit score with 1,000 increase on your credit report. Why am I bringing this up? With increase, because it is only worth 10% of our score and up to 55 points, this is exactly why you should not prioritize that over this point. What I mean is a lot of people will not apply for credit cards. They will not apply for loans because they are scared of getting an increase. So what I try to explain to them is you are protecting 10% of your credit profile, but you are protecting 10% of your credit profile, but jeopardizing 65% of your profile because you don't want to build credit and open a credit card and open trade lines. 65% of your credit profile, which is your payment history and your credit utilization, is tailored towards positive reporting accounts. So accounts that report monthly, positive trade lines, they report monthly. That is where the bulk of your points will come from. Don't protect the 10% and you giving up the 65%. When it comes to building credit, you're gonna get a few increase. It is what it is. You're gonna get some increase. Oh well, it's not gonna prevent you from doing anything. I know you're gonna say, well, some credit card companies will deny you based on increase. If you are getting, I cannot hold this phone. Hold on. If you are getting denied, hear me clearly. If you are getting denied based on increase, then your credit is not good. Your credit, you did not qualify for that card if increase is the things that is preventing you from getting that card. Okay. So y'all be wanting to protect increase. Y'all be wanting to protect 10% of your credit profile and jeopardizing 65% of it. The math don't math. The math does not math. And when y'all be trying to save those increase, I want to apply for a credit card, but I don't want to get an increase. What? You're gonna not apply for a credit card because you're gonna lose 2 points? Like, come on. No. That's not what we're doing. We have to, first of all, when you know how your credit score is broken down, because I know you guys have probably heard the 35, 30%, 15%. And if you're like me, it wasn't real until I knew exactly how something is affecting me. I'm an extremely visual learner. So unless I can actually see a quantitative amount of how something is affecting me, it doesn't make sense. So if I tell you, hey guys, get a credit card because the credit card is 30% of your credit profile, you're probably going to take that and it's going to go in one ear and out the other. But if I tell you, hey, sis, you got a 400 credit score right now, you get a credit card, it's going to, at least when it reports, it's going to give you X amount of points, and it's responsible for, I mean, it's worth up to 165 points. Then it becomes real. Then you realize, oh shit, I need a credit card, because you need a credit card. So again, inquiries are a part of building credit. They're a part of life. Inquiries only affect your score for up to 12 months from the date that they pulled your credit. So yes, it will stay on your credit profile for 2 years, but it will not have any impact on your score for after 12 months. This is why a lot of times when y'all are getting these inquiries deleted, I see people all the time, like I got 60 inquiries deleted. Somebody be like, how much your score went up? They'd be like 2 points. They'd be like 10 points. And they wonder why. It's because majority of your inquiries are already deduplicated anyway. So if you went to a car lot and you got 20 inquiries, those are only they're only affecting you for the balance of 1, because they deduplicated all of them. So it is not even affecting your score. So again, do not protect the 10% of your profile and you are not cultivating that 65%, because you ain't gonna have good credit based on your increase. And I always say, again, I said this just a second ago, but if you are ever denied a credit card because of your increase, it was something else wrong with your profile. Don't even force yourself to believe that it was because of your increase, unless you are applying for a Chase Sapphire, or I'm sorry, not a Chase. Sorry. Take back what I just said. Again, increase is never going to be the only reason why you are denied for credit cards. And if it is, all you got to do is call the Reconsideration line. And I guarantee you, if like you are claiming, if increase was the only reason why you got denied, then you should get approved with no problem with the Reconsideration line. No, because an increase is never going to be the reason why you get denied for a credit card at all. Now, somebody said, what about if it said you have too many new accounts? New accounts and increase are different. Now, yes, companies will deny you based on the fact that you've opened up too many active trade lines within a short period of time, because they want to see how you are handling your new debt obligations. They want to give you time to make sure that you can afford to spend on that car, you can afford to pay back that loan. They got to see based on your debt obligations how responsible you are. So when you have so many new accounts, yeah, a company is going to deny you because you got too much going on. So it's like you trying to ask for us more money, but you didn't ask for Chase. You asked Chase for a credit card last month. You asked Citi for a credit card the other month. They approved you. You just got those cards. Let us see how you handle that before we give you more money. So new accounts, yes, you shouldn't open more than 3 new accounts in the same year out after your initial building year. What's the best card for 630? Like a Quicksilvers or like a Platinum. Like a Quicksilvers, and maybe like an American Express Gold, maybe if you can get it. You're right. Increase plus low average age of, yeah, exactly. So instead of focusing on your increase, yeah, man, damn, I'm on this phone. Let me see if I'm gonna see if I got my FICO logged in on this phone, because this is like my burner phone, so I don't know. I wish I could show y'all. Right now let me see. Hold on. Child, I ain't even logged in on this phone. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I'm logged in on this phone. I'm gonna show you how many inquiries I have. I probably have, I think the last time, I don't even look at inquiries, but I think the last time I checked, I probably had like 15 or something like that. Because I was shopping around a rate for something specific. So I have like 15 inquiries. Do I care? Absolutely not. Like this is what I wanted to show you guys. This is what I was looking for, actually. Yes. Oh, I thought y'all was, what the hell? I thought y'all was looking at this the whole time on YouTube. So y'all just weren't looking at nothing when I was just explaining that? Did it even make sense? Y'all, not I thought I was sharing my screen the whole time. Wasn't sharing nothing. They just looking at me look at y'all. Okay. Okay, so this is what I was telling you guys. So you guys know how the industry standard is 30%. People tell you like report a 30% utilization and you're good. Bull crap after bull crap. Let me show you exactly why that doesn't make sense. So here is a utilization chart. Okay, where is 30% on this chart? 30% is right here. 30% is yellow. 30% is basically orange. And any person with a logical brain can tell you what yellow and orange means. It means tread lightly, sis. Slow down. What when you get to a yellow light at a stoplight, what does that mean? It means slow your ass down, right? That's exactly what 30% utilization means as well. Whoa, you doing too much. I need you to take it back. I need you to take it down some. So this is where you need to be if you want to gain points. If you have under a 700 credit score, your credit utilization should be below 10%. I say this time and time again. If you have a under a 700 credit score, you don't have the privilege, you don't have the leeway to report a high utilization because you need to be getting all of the points that you can possibly get. Remember, you only got about 165 points for your credit card. If you report a 30%, you only getting about 70%. I mean, you only getting about 70 of those points. If you report under 10%, then you are getting majority of the 165 points. So again, 30% is what that. Yes, they tell you 30%. That's because the 30% is a safe number. I always tell you guys, it's literally like getting a C in school. So 30% is not horrible. It's not gonna cause you to fail the class, but it's also not going to get you to the top of your class at all. So when it comes to your credit profile, a 30% is going to keep your score stagnant. It's right here in the middle for a reason. It's going to keep you stagnant. If you have a 600 credit score, enjoy that 600 because until you lower your utilization, your score is going to stay there. You may get a few points here or there. And let me tell y'all something. So y'all know we only have 550 points to control. After you get above a 750, your points are going to be like super hard to come. Like you're going to go months and months and months. You could be doing every single thing right, but you're going to be going months and months and months without a change in your credit profile because there's only but so many points that we have access to. And the only thing that typically will keep someone like between a 750 and above 800 is going to be credit age. So with time, you're going to get that because I don't recommend that you buy a trade line. So with time, the rest is going to come, right? But when you have below a 600 or below a 700 score, that means that you have so many points, literally. So this is the line. This is the 700 line. This is the 700 line. If you the way I just forgot what I was talking about and I had a whole point. What was I going to say? Oh, here's the 700 line, right? So if your score is under 700, you have so many points that you can still get, right? But when you have like a 750, there's only but so many points that left. So it's going to be far and few in between when you get credit limit increases. I mean, not credit limit increases, credit score increases. The reason why I'm saying that is if you are below a 700 and your score is not moving, red flag. That just means that you're not doing something right. That means because there's too many points still available to you. So if your score is not moving, then you have to change something up. Something is holding your score down. What's going to hold your score down is going to be utilization. If you have a recent derogatory, so if you have a recent collection or a recent charge off, that'll hold your score down. A recent late payment, that'll hold your score down, right? But if ain't none of those going on and you cannot figure out why the hell your score is not moving, it's probably because of your utilization. Probably. The best top tier card, my favorite is the American Express Platinum card, and then the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So if 90% utilization is used, but you're steadily making minimum on-time payments, does that still look bad? That looks extremely bad. In all honesty, that looks bad. In my word, a yellow light means speed up. Listen, me too, because I don't stop at yellow lights. But for your credit card, yellow might as well be red. Because listen, when you apply for a card, did y'all know? When you apply for a card with a high utilization, the limit that you get is not what you would have qualified for had your utilization been lower. Y'all know that? You know that when you are getting approved for like $1,000 and stuff like that, and you wondering like, why was I approved for such a low limit? It was probably because of your credit utilization. How do I get a Santander? Santander did a collection. They ain't do no charge off. Look at them trying to be nice now. It probably because I take that back because I guarantee you it was a charge off and then they sold it to a collection agency. What do I think of the 15 and 3 rule? It's stupid. It makes no sense. There's no way to trick the credit bureaus into thinking that you made multiple payments, and it does nothing for you. What's a good score to apply for a CD double cash? I think you need about like a early 600s. Like you need low 600s probably. How can I delete? Y'all talking about, y'all asking about, this live is about credit cards. This live is not about disputing collections and charge-offs. Now, y'all know I normally come on live and talk only about that. I want to reserve this live just for credit cards. And then like maybe tomorrow we'll do a live about disputing and stuff like that. But that's what we always talk about, y'all. Y'all ain't tired of talking about that. Let's talk about the fun stuff. The fun stuff. 9 to 12 months to get those points back. Yep. Takes about a year to get those points back for a late payment. How to fix late payment. Yeah. The goodwill adjustment for late payments or the late payment letter. But the best business starter card. I see that I'm so unconventional when it comes to business credit. I'm not the best person to ask for that. Like I said, only because I hate the whole net 30. When I built my business credit in the cars that I wanted, it wasn't a gas car. I did not want a Uline car. And I know that's required for funding and stuff like that. But how I use my business credit is I just wanted the high limit credit cards, honestly speaking. So I just leveraged my personal credit to get those cars. So I'm not the person to ask for business credit because I did not do it like the traditional way. Can getting a second credit card raise your score? So the credit card itself is not going to raise your score. What's going to raise, because you could do with one card what you can do with 10 cards, because it's a percentage. It's not based on the limit. So like if you have $100 credit card, you want to make sure that you report a limit under 10%, a balance under 10% of that. So getting another credit card is not just going to increase your score. What about credit mix? I knew somebody was going to ask that, and that's cool because I have an answer for you. So when it comes to credit mix, you want to set up your credit. Can y'all see this? Yeah. You want to set up your credit profile in a way that it's going to benefit you points wise, right? And what I mean by that is your credit mix should be a direct reflection of your points breakdown, right? So this is the credit mix that I recommend for everyone, whether you are starting off, whether you are established, whether you're just trying to figure out why am I not getting approved for like top tier cards or mid tier cards, and I've had cards for years, like what am I doing wrong? So try to mirror this profile, and I have a lot of people in here who has already done this, and they can tell you like, yes, my score improved or whatever. But this is a credit profile that is meant to build credit. So listen up. If you don't have if you don't have established credit, or if you have bad credit, this is what you need to do. So make sure you have at least 4 active trade lines. Active. So they have to be open. They have to be reporting every single month to the credit bureaus. A trade line is any account that reports monthly. So it can be a credit card, it can be a loan. You need to have at least 4. Of those 4 trade lines, 2 of them need to be credit cards. You need to have at least 2 credit cards. And then I recommend having a short-term installment and then a long-term installment. A short-term installment is any loan that's under 36 months. And then a long-term installment is any loan over 36 months, right? So for instance, a short-term installment can be like a self-lender loan. It can be a credit builder loan from your bank. It can be a kickoff. It can be in a firm. It could be a Klarna. It can be a personal loan. Any loan that has a term length under 36 months is going to be considered a short-term installment. And then you have a long-term installment, which is over 36 months. So if you are a person who already has student loans, if you have a car loan, if you have a mortgage, all of those are considered long-term installments. So you're good to go. You don't need another one. And then reported utilization under 10%. So again, reported only means that on your statement date, your balance was below 10%. Don't mean that you only have to use 10% of your credit cards. No, it literally just means that on your statement date, so the day that your cycle closed, your utilization was below 10%, right? So this is the credit profile that I recommend if you are trying to rapidly gain points. Let me see. Does Amex do a hard pull when you apply? No. After you get approved for American Express, I've never gotten an increase since, and I've gotten a lot of credit cards from them since. Oh, my ear itch. Okay. Don't turn credit limit increases down. I don't know why would you? The more the merrier. The more the merrier. So again, this is a credit mix that I recommend. So when it comes to primary. Somebody said, what's primary trade line? So there are 2 types of trade lines. You have your primary trade lines, and then you have your authorized user trade lines. Your primary trade lines are accounts that you were approved for in your name. So you apply for that card and you got approved, right? And then an authorized user trade line is going to be if you are piggybacking off someone else's credit card. If someone adds you to their credit card, you are considered an AU. AU accounts do not count in this 4 active trade line policy. Companies hate AU accounts. I'm gonna be honest with you. They most of the times they omitting it anyway. So if your score is only good because of an AU account, then you gotta have established credit. That's all I'm gonna say. So having at least 4 active primary trade lines. So if you AU'd on someone else's credit card, don't count that in the 4 that you need, because you need to establish your own credit profile. Someone said my son is added on my card. Was that a bad thing? No. Okay. Again, when I say I don't recommend AU cards, I mean like I don't recommend anyone purchase a trade line. It's the biggest waste of money in my opinion. But if you have a family member that's willing to add you, if you are a parent, you should add your kids when they're 17 to your credit cards so that you can jumpstart their credit. However, because what a lot of parents fail to do is they will add their child to their credit card and then they will never have that child establish their own credit profiles. So for my married couples and for my parents, add your child to your credit card, right? I'm going to wait until my kids turn 17. I don't understand when people add their kids when they're 8. It's not like they can't even generate a credit score to 18. So you adding them at 8 and you adding them at 17 literally does not make any difference. The only thing that I would recommend is that you add them, if you catch it before then, at least 6 months before their 18th birthday, so that by their 18th birthday, they will have a score. Because a person that does not have an AU trade line before they're 18, they're not going to have a credit score until they establish an account for like 6 months. Because FICO is not going to generate a score until you have had an account, a trade line for at least 6 months. So that's the only reason why I say add them before at least 6 months before their 18th birthday. But ain't no reason. Ain't no point. I have a 9-year-old. Ain't no way he touching my American Express cards until he's 17, because it doesn't benefit him more or less anyway, right? So what I was saying is the biggest mistake that I see on a lot of parents, and I know they mean well, because when you add your child to your credit card, you want them to have a great credit score. This is the mistakes that I see. You'll add your child to your credit card and then they don't get their own credit card till years later. I cannot stress to you how backwards that is. When you add your child to your credit card, the whole goal should be just so they can get their own credit card and they can skip the starter card range, right? So if your child is added to your credit card, then they can skip the starter card. They can go straight to mid-tier. That's pretty much the only advantage, right? So they can go straight to mid-tier, but get them a card like literally on their 18th birthday or as close to it as possible. Remember when I said an aged credit card is the best thing for your credit profile? That card that you open your child at 18, when they are 30, when they are 40, that fucking card, no matter what the limit is, that card is going to be like gold to their credit profile. Because the older a credit card get, the better, the more beneficial it is to your credit profile. If you can establish a great trade line when you are 18 years old, you only have but the rest of your life to live. So it's only going to become more beneficial to your child's credit profile, not your card. Your card is, your card is cool, but if you want them to establish their own credit, you need to get them a credit card. And then a person just asked a question that literally I was finna get on next. What about my child establishing credit by buying a car? Okay, listen. Parents, don't ever put a car in your child's name before they have a reported credit card. Don't ever do that. Let me tell you, when they don't have a reported credit card on their credit profile, you are setting them up to receive a horrible APR. And when I say horrible, I mean that had they had a credit card and a score had increased, they would have gotten a better rate on their car on a long-term installment. They should never get a card before they get a credit card. Absolutely not. Never. It should always be a credit card before a long-term installment, because your long-term installment rate is going to be dependent on your credit profile. If you get your child a credit, you should get your child a credit card before you get them a car in their name, because it's going to make for a better rate, for one. For two, they're already going to have established credit. They're going to have they're already going to have established credit, meaning they're going to get a lower rate, because you should always go through their bank and not like, hold on, y'all got to plug up my phone because it's going to die. It's distracting because it keeps popping up. Hold on. Shit. All right. So what I was saying, is it plugged? Okay, it's charging. So what I was saying is you should never get your child a car before you get them a credit card. That's so backwards, because if you are putting the car in their name, which you should, if they're going to get a car, even if you pay for it, I do recommend that you put it in their name, but they have to have a credit card first. Remember that. It's always credit card first and then long-term installment, right? Get them a credit card. Make sure it is reporting. So it's probably going to take about 30 to 60 days after they get approved for it. After that card reports, now, actually, let me rewind. Before that card reports, you need to make sure that the first time that credit card reports, and this is for anyone, by the way, if this is your first credit card, before that card reports, you need to make sure that the first reported balance is between 1% and 3%. This is going to cause an extreme spike in your credit score and your credit profile. So if you do not have credit, if you do not have a credit card right now, when you get your first credit card, I don't care if it's a secure card because they all report the same. Make sure the first reported balance is between 1% and 3%. So meaning like if you have a $200 credit card, make a very small purchase, buy a bag of chips or something like that. Let that report, and your first reported when a credit card pops up, you're going to have an extremely low utilization, right? That's going to cause a spike in your credit profile. So you're going to gain probably you can gain really honestly like 100 points with the first time your credit card reports, depending. So I'm gonna average it out. I'm gonna say from 60 to 100 points, depending on your profile. The point is you can gain a lot of points by having a low utilization the first time your credit card reports. So again, credit card before your loan. Please don't get your child a long-term installment before they have a credit card if it's in their name. It literally does not make sense. They literally could have got a better rate if you would have gotten them a credit card first, show that they have an established credit profile, and then apply for a loan. Someone said I did the opposite of what you said. I got my kid a card first, and they actually got a really good rate, 13%. 13% is not a good rate. It's not a good rate. And I'm not saying that I hope I'm not offending you, but 13% is not a good rate. And they could have gotten a better rate had they had an established profile. When I say bag of chips, keep them, I'm just saying like you could buy a bag of chips, but like if it's a $200 credit card, then spend like $20 or under $20. Yeah, so 13% is not good. And not, yeah. I guess there's no way to clean it up, but it's not good. They could have gotten a better rate if they had an established profile. I've been following you for 3 months. My score has drastically improved. I've gotten 13 collections deleted, 2 charge-offs, and working on my eviction. Woo! Shout out to you. Chase Preferred over the American Amex Gold. I prefer the Chase Preferred over the Amex Gold. Yeah. You don't have to spend 20. I said under 20. Like that's the ceiling. That's your limit. So it doesn't show that you pay anything, or am I missing your point? Hold on. What? I had an Amex, but I got into trouble and they took a settlement 30%. In the confirmation letter, Amex asks I wait 30 days after my last payment to reapply. Will they consider me an established customer? If your card's closed, then you pretty much have to like restart your relationship with them. Yeah, 13% is not good. My card rate is 1.67. Someone asked, but I couldn't write it down fast enough. Top tier CCs you recommend? Where is it? Oh, hold on. Right here. But the ones that I like most is going to be the platinum, the Chase, or the cash preferred. The lower the rate, the better. Yes. So your rate. Someone said, "What is a rate?" So your APR, which is your annual percentage rate, is going to be the amount of interest that you pay for your loan or your credit card. So, for instance, because on any credit card you will pay interest on balances that you leave over past your due date. If you leave a $100 balance past your due date and your credit card has a 22% interest rate, you're going to have to pay. Is that $22? Yeah, $22 extra. For using that card, right? But if you zero out your balance every due date, then you don't have to pay interest. But when it comes to cars, I think that's what you were talking about, because we were talking about cars. When it comes to cars, let's say we can use the person that they said. So they have a 13% interest rate. So let's say they have a $15,000 car. They have to also pay, in addition to paying $15,000 for the car, they have to also pay the bank interest. They have to pay them whatever 13% of 15,000 is. And with most cars, you're going to gain interest every single day. So interest will make or break a long-term installment, which is why I say you should not get it unless you already have established credit outside of like a student loan. My Instagram page is Road to 750 plus. YouTube is Road to 750. Best ways to boost your credit if you are a beginner. A credit card. A credit card is the only thing that has the power to like literally increase your score drastically month to month. There's not a loan that's going to do that, regardless of how much the loan is. Loans are built to establish your credit over a set amount of time. Thank you for the gift. Loans are set to improve your score over a set amount of time. So as you pay your car note off or any other loan, as you pay it off, you're not going to see a drastic increase in your score at all. But with credit cards, the higher your utilization is, the lower your credit score will be, and then the lower your utilization is, the higher your credit score will be. Yeah, I didn't even realize I've been on here for 2 hours. I am gonna get off in a minute though, y'all. I'm cold as heck, and I'm ready to go to lay down. The best card after bankruptcy, depending on how recent you did bankruptcy, but you probably gonna have to start with a starter card. So get like a Open Sky or a Capital One preferred. Don't apply for a Discover right away because they're not gonna approve you. Yeah, I'll save this live. This live will be saved on YouTube. My YouTube page is Road to 750. What's your question? All right, I'm gonna take a few more questions before I get off here. How many credit cards are too much? There's no set number, but I would say if you too much is ones that you can't handle. So if you are still carrying a balance, then you shouldn't still be getting other credit cards. You need to work on like getting your current credit cards down. Is the Marriott Bonvoy a good credit card? I like that card. I do like that card. It's definitely a top tier card. It's definitely like one of those cards that a lot of people want. And they have a lot of partners, so it's not just exclusive to Marriott. They have a lot of partners. So I absolutely like that card. I like that card. I don't have it, but I do like it. Can you do a video on how to use your credit card? Yeah, I have a video posted on that, but I'll do another one for sure. Okay. So Discover emails. It's cool. It's definitely my least favorite of all the travel cards. But it's cool. It's cool. I don't really like Discover and Capital One outside of their starter cards. Okay, guys. So I've been on here 2 hours. I didn't even realize that. So I am going to wrap up this live. Make sure if you learn something, follow me. Because all I do is talk about credit. And also just to formally introduce myself to everyone who is new here, who are just not familiar with me. My name is Shonda Martin. I'm a certified credit educator. So I literally educate about credit. I work with banks. I work with underwriters. I work with real estate agents. I work with a lot of financial institutions, schools, high schools, and colleges as well to teach credit. Literally what I do is educate about credit. I'm also, on top of that, in my personal life, I'm an avid credit card user. So I can give you both personal advice and experiences as well as professional. So I just love all things credit. I own the largest credit education group on Facebook, which is called Road to 750, where we literally just discuss credit. I'm the person that you go to when you are trying to figure out how to increase your credit score, whether that is a result of you having collections, charge-offs, late payments, or you're just trying to build it from scratch. So everything about credit, we can talk about. I am FICO certified, so I am fully educated in the FICO scores, which is the only scores that matters because Credit Karma Vantage scores does not matter. And yeah, so again, I literally just teach about credit finances, and I'm certified to teach it in all 50 states. I do see a lot of people asking about Canada. I'm not certified to teach credit in Canada. However, I have a lot of the same similarities, but my advice is definitely for like the US market, you know? So that is my time here today. I do lives a lot. Make sure you guys are following me on other platforms, because I always say that if you're just following me on TikTok, you're not even getting a percentage of the education that I'm able to teach, because it's so limiting. I have to like put everything in a 3-minute video. It's too much. So follow me on Instagram. Follow at Road to 750 Plus. Follow me. Let me show y'all my Instagram page before y'all get out of here. Follow me on Facebook. Facebook is a private group, so you do have to get approved to join our Facebook group. Here is my Instagram page. It is Road to 750 Plus, and follow me on Instagram. Also, if you have collections, go to our highlights and tap on the collections on Instagram. It's going to literally walk you through the step-by-step process on how you can get a collection deleted with the letters included that you can send. You can screenshot and send them for free. Also, late payments. I mean, the list goes on. We talk exit. Oh, why is my exit? What in the world? What's on my mouse? Okay, here we go. Late payments. Let's say you have late payments. How do I challenge my late payments? Well, I give you the blueprint exactly how to challenge it, what letters to send. The same thing goes for evictions. The same thing goes for inquiries. Here's our inquiry dispute guide. There's 3 ways that you can dispute inquiries. They're all here. Here's the phone script. Here's another letter. So you get what I'm saying. Follow me on Instagram and as well as YouTube, which everything is linked in my bio. But follow me on the different platforms, especially if you learned something today. YouTube, especially if you are a visual learner. So every time I go live on YouTube, I'm always sharing my screen. I'm showing you exactly what I'm telling you. So follow me if you learn something. And you don't have to. Maybe you just want to fill me out and whatever. Listen, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. And again, I will talk to you guys later. I will probably be live not in the morning because I have a meeting. So I'll probably be live sometime tomorrow. I just don't know when. I will go live on YouTube as well as TikTok like I did today. I will talk to you guys later. Sending you positive love and light. I will be in my TikTok comments answering questions as well as on YouTube. So if you still have remaining questions, feel free to, comment them on my other videos and all of that. If you ever have a video request, if you ever want me to do a detailed video on anything as it pertains to your credit profile or money in general, I'm always willing to make a video. I just be needing to know what y'all want because I'll be like, they already know this, so I don't want to waste my time teaching it. If you don't know it, I will do a video. There's no stupid question for me. You can literally ask me what is a credit score, and I'm going to sit there and explain it to you. I'm going to show you. I'm a visual teacher as well as a visual learner. So everything that I do, I like to show you. If you're a visual learner, I found my people. People who only learn visually like me. So make sure you guys are following me on other platforms. I will see you guys later. I'm out of here for real this time. But everything is linked. Yes. Bye, guys. Bye, Facebook. Bye, YouTube.